Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you happen to be in the world, we are seeing a little bit of movement once again this morning. Futures back to the upside, or trying to get back to the upside here after another record high close for both the S&P and Dow. Yesterday, at the end of the day, the NASDAQ did end the day in positive territory, but not at a record high. As far as the session is concerned, a few things moving in the pre-market to discuss this morning. I mean, all focus going to be on Robinhood, because what a move once again for Robinhood, up a better part of 15% at one point this morning, coming back in a little bit, but we'll talk about that coming up. We've got that ADP number out, so futures heading back southbound after the private payrolls number was basically half of what it was expected to be, 330,000 versus about 660,000 on the estimate. So that seems to be the reason for the little bit of the dip we're seeing right now. We're also seeing the 10-year Treasury yield back to 1.18. If you remember, we were down at 1.15 on Monday, even down around 1.13 at one point. So continuing to trend back to the upside for the 10-year. Lyft reported, moving around in the pre-market here. We're going to get Uber aftermarket tonight, but I mean, going to be all about Robinhood. We'll talk about GM coming up as well. Not a good report for GM. It's Wednesday, August 4th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. As I mentioned, we are heading back to the downside here. We are trying to bounce a little bit, but yeah, that ADP number seems to be the reason we're seeing some weakness come back. 0.25% for the S&P, the Dow 0.3, NASDAQ little changed at this point. You can see crude oil with a bit of a tumble today, 1.7%. Crypto's at the bottom there, trying to get back to the upside as well after a couple of days to the downside for cryptocurrencies. I was reading last night. Good morning, guys. I was reading last night. There's a $28 billion portion of the infrastructure bill that is surrounding cryptocurrency tax in the U.S. That's over a 10-year period, so it could be as much as $28 billion over a 10-year period, which was interesting. So, yeah, congratulations to the U.S. government, I guess, if they get that passed. Let's talk about Robinhood, guys, because it's a little bit exciting here.
Yes, sir.
Well, it moved a little bit so far this morning, and by a little bit, it gapped up. We got a 50. I mean, it was basically sitting at 50 before 7 a.m., and then you get that 7 a.m. bump. It's already hit 55 once. You can probably get an idea, a couple of pullbacks, and we can throw levels. 51.50, it pulled back and ran. 52.40, it pulled back and ran. That's where it started to cluster up a little bit, which it's doing right now. I bought on that last little dip in front of that 52.50 cluster. And why am I looking at gift horse in the mouth this early? Of course, as I'm literally saying it, I shouldn't be looking the gift horse in the mouth. Not usually hitting that key at this particular time of day. But retail interest has come into the stand. I think everyone sort of talked about it. This is maybe anecdotal. I'll get a little bit more aggressive. Take some. I want to be buying that 53 over and over again if I can. This might be anecdotal, but obviously new IPOs are hard to borrow. We usually have to pay. We paid 5 or 6 cents the first couple of days. I want to say 5, probably in that range. And then it was free for us, Day Trade the World here, to find locates on. Yesterday. Today, we're back to paying 3 or 4 cents a share, something along those lines. I think it was about 3.5. But the point being is that you come in, and the day that it's free to borrow, or easy to borrow for a lot of traders out there at lots of levels. I mean, everyone was looking at 40 and 42, which were both actually good shorts. Everything past that was abject disaster if you tried to short it. But a lot of day traders would have done that, and a lot of short-term traders would have been piling in thinking, oh yeah, well, this is a weak IPO, one of the worst ever of its size, and then it was free locates, and then all of a sudden we're paying because the demand's up there. So it probably means there's some short-term short traders in there, guys, and imagine if this thing had options. Robinhood going to be all over this one today. I don't want to forget about Uber, because Lyft did pretty well, and I kind of feel like that might make it a good time to finally get some more Uber in.
Look, yesterday, guys, I didn't even know what the short situation was, and we did talk about that earlier, but we had Hood yesterday, right where my finger is, taking that long through 38, right? And then talked about not trying to short that things. And then today it's up to 54. So, I mean, unfortunately, we can't hold overnight, so we put on our scalping hats and start to scalp here today. But congratulations to anybody that read that in the sticky note and believed in what I was saying yesterday in the pre-market. And today, now you're up to $54. So, I mean, that was good. I don't think our trades. Yeah. So here we go. So there we go. There's my buy yesterday. So I mean, the writing's on the wall. $37. Bang. We missed the 38. We had the order to take the long, and then the rest is history. Now you're at the 54 and change. So I just put in the chat. Just be careful. I mean, yesterday the reason was obvious for me why it was going up. Today it's still obvious why it's going up. I mean, you have a lot of Wall Street bets. A lot of people, trying to crush this thing to the upside now, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of money made. But at the same time, like that just fell pretty easily from 55 to 53 there. So just be very, very careful. We scalped out a quick 25 cents, but we saw that it wasn't breaking through 55, and then we bought again here at VWAP. So we're going to hold this for a little bit and see where we go, but we're in the money now, 10 cents. A 55 break is nice. I think that's going to be a good long as well. But Robinhood, hey man, we're back and we're ready to rock and roll. Almost 6 million shares. Let's see what we can do on Hood today.
Yeah, decent volume so far. Liquidity, however, is a little bit suspect at times. The spread does open up. I was noticing a little bit early on, so definitely tread lightly. I mean, it's 8:37, guys. 6 million shares, pretty impressive. Let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Good morning, team. I wish you a positive day and a lot of great trading opportunities. Please don't forget to like this video, and let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed get it started, guys. We have lots to discuss before we get to the open, coming up in under an hour from now, including earnings both to come, as we said, from Uber aftermarket tonight, and Lyft, who reported better than expected results. So a decent move here for Lyft shares. There's also that Beyond Spring we should probably talk about, because a lot of people are going to be looking at this little one. 283% right now. It was up more than 300% at this point. Neil and I were kind of laughing when this thing first popped up this morning, because there's actual news here. So an actual stock with actual positive news up 200% seems to be a rarity these days, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we butcher these names all the time. It's the plinabulin, look, approved for plinabulin combination with, I can't even pronounce them. Watch it, it's all on our watch list, but it's not very, like I said, it's not very often you actually get substantive news when you get, and this is, at the end of the day, we have to go to the daily chart, and I went way, way back to see where this thing had been before. And oh my gosh, you had to go even, there we go, even further. You had to go all the way back to 2017. And the only reason I'm pointing this out is because as it got close to this 48.50, I was sort of saying to myself, this is getting out of hand. I'm like 34, it was like 44. Liquidity was pretty thin on it, and then it got so close to that 48.50 level. It got like 46.60 and reversed, and not many stocks were going to put in a $10 reversal and still actually have a bullish setup, which kind of speaks to this. I just of course, and like Sean said, be careful with Robinhood. Obviously, be careful with this name if you want to talk about liquidity being a concern. It's not that at the end of the day, it's not a horribly sized market cap company, but there was almost no liquidity on some of these moves. Like when this stock was dropping through 41 here. I can tell you, like, the bid is evaporating, and it's the same way the offer evaporates to the upside. So you got to be careful with your stop orders. I can tell you, like yesterday on Robinhood, which is way more liquid, by the way, the 40 break, the difference, we have two different stop orders we can use. The difference between the two, if you use the same order, was like a 20 cents worth of slippage, depending on which stop order you use. Just on our system, which are all very reliable, and that's on Robinhood. On BYSI, this thing is going to move dollars. If I was shorting that top, it would have been literally giving it $3 or $4 here, but it still looks rather bullish. I'd love to see it retest that high, but go all the way back to 2017. You're not going to have any levels that you'd want to stick your foot in front of. And I think 27 should be a little bit of support if it does do another flush $10 down again.
Let me just check on mRNA quickly here to see what that's doing. Ooh, 390. mRNA yesterday touched, so this is going to be 52-week high. Yesterday was 386, so already touching new highs on mRNA. As that starts to go, Pfizer's starting to go as well. Wow, what a good move for Pfizer. The last couple of days, ever since breaking that $43 on the daily chart, has just been, $41 on the daily chart has been absolutely nuts. So 43 was that high. So yeah, up to 46. I mean, all these names, man, and you're just talking about it because it's a healthcare space. I think Bristol Myers as well, now breaking through 70 might be a nice trade on BMY as well. But yeah, get some of this. I haven't been able to get into Pfizer or Moderna, or I mean, I'm still long J&J. and ABV, but ABV is not really the same as any of these other ones. So anyways, $69, $70 about to break here on BMY. I do like that name as well. So there's a few good names in this space. And yeah, if you're trading that BYSI, I mean, you know, make sure you got some shortable shares if you can get them. And then just watch out, man. 47.50 is that high. But I also like Bristol Myers. These are just for longer term. And then J&J is the other one that I have, which just continues to work, right? So nothing but love to the upside for you, J&J, as you're breaking out as well. So lots of stocks happening. Look, I think we're about to be in, and we don't have Mark today. We're going to have Jeff from the OTC markets, which is great. But I think we're just beginning this crazy bull market, which is crazy to say just beginning. I mean, check out what we've done in the last year and a half. But I don't see any stopping, man. I want to buy more Apple. I bought more Facebook. Oh, I forgot to tweet that out. I bought more Facebook yesterday as well, and I want to buy some more Apple today. And I'm also actually thinking about getting into some Walmart because, look, I think pandemic number 2 is here for sure, right? I mean, there's more cases yesterday in the U.S. than there was in the spring of 2020. So, I mean, what are we even doing right now? If Walmart can break out, I think we can get back into the 150s. So it's not going to be a super sexy trade, but I do like Walmart here. I
mean, I like Walmart. It's been a dog. I just kind of, like, Mark's convinced me that like spread it out in some of those names. Costco is unbelievable. You got to think they'll win, and sometimes you got to buy high, sell higher. I think that's one name to talk about getting into here. There is just a very quickly, just only because someone just asked about it. GameStop is doing absolutely nothing. I know there was that volume spike that everyone saw at the close yesterday. There was a large buy imbalance. That's all this was a 2 million share buy imbalance that came out on GameStop. It then quickly reversed. There was an index action. It was moving from a small to a mid in the S&P, and that was resulting in $1 million worth of shares needed to be bought. It was only 5,600 was expected, so it ended up being way too big. The imbalance that came out ended up pairing off. That's where you get the shoot up and then back down. We did cover it on the afternoon show, so maybe during lunchtime or whatnot. If you want to go back, I forget the name who was asking about it on the chat. If you want to go back and just watch that, we did cover it live. But that's all that spike was. Big imbalance, paired off, now right back to flat on GameStop. Literally 0.03% down.
Let's talk about AMC here real quick before we get to our friend Jeff Mendel at OTC Markets, because AMC, on the other hand, a little bit active once again here in the pre-market. The initial weakness, though, you can see has disappeared. We're back to the upside here along with Robinhood. It was kind of interesting, guys, and I'll get your opinion here, but as we see some money going into Robinhood here in the pre-market, we saw some money coming out of AMC in the pre-market, and then the reverse happened as a little bit of selling came into Robinhood. We see AMC shares starting to bounce again.
I think there's probably something to be said about it from like the momentum standpoint, like the people that are actively trading, maybe with shorter time frames. I tend to believe that the AMC types of traders that are essentially buying and holding, been sticking it out for these moves. I mean, forget about the 15-minute. Like, I mean, you pull up the daily chart. Like, people that have been sticking it out, probably not making overreactions like, oh, it's going right into support. Now is when I'm going to dump it and then get into Robinhood when I've been holding it from, I don't know, like just speculating here, from like 50s, or maybe I've been long around 40 and it go, you just basically been holding on to it forever, and then now you're going to dump it to buy Robinhood. I think there's short term that makes a heck of a lot of sense, right? Like for the active traders going from one to the other. All that said, we talked about that 31 double bottom. I mean, if it's going to be holding a higher low here, that's a very, very key level. And if this narrative holds true, and let's just say Robinhood continues to stay bullish for a couple of days, that's going to be a big test for 31. So I tend to think we might have missed our chance to see that today, but that's the only level that I'm watching out for AMC here. And I tend to believe that most of the long-term holders are probably not selling their AMC for Robinhood. I think it's just the short-term traders.
Yeah, I already have it. I mean, I already have it on the watch list on the sticky note today, AMC. I mean, that's exactly what I said. Focus now on Hood so a lot of those traders now are on Hood, so AMC's dropping. So I put a check mark beside the 32 short. It's just, we'll see if it can hold it. I mean, it's bounced back beautifully here, so that's great. I mean, I do like the long better because we've talked about that. A couple bottoms here, made the bottom. I mean, even back in June when we were going nuts here, you still did have, a little bit of protection there from 30-31 off that jump, and then you come back here in late July and get the same sort of love again for AMC. So let's wait to see if it can hold it, but yeah, with more and more focus here on Robinhood, we got to go. Go ahead, Brendan.
All right, guys. Yeah, we're going to bring in Jeff Mendel here, VP of OTC Markets, and bring you some more opportunities to look at in case you didn't have enough this morning. It's been a busy morning. Great to see you, Jeff. Welcome back. I mean, we're into August, so let's be honest. It's probably the one of the quietest months of the year, but we are still seeing opportunity. We are still seeing volume, and we are still seeing volatility. Let's talk a little bit about where those have been popping up on OTC markets of late.
Well, hey, Brendan, thank you for that great introduction. I don't have anything like Robinhood trading down here right now, but I would like to point out ETHE is moving around. It's up 60 cents from yesterday's close in the pre-market, and looks like we got some decent liquidity at the inside in it as well too right now. So that's, as you guys know, that's the Ethereum-based trust. And in the past couple days, past week, there's been a lot of movement in Ethereum, and same thing goes for GBTC, but you know, that's up actually, wow, that's up about 60 cents in the pre-market as well too. So there's some good action there in the grayscale products, and like I said, you can always trade those on OTCX.
Yeah, it's we've been talking a little bit about the fact that, you know, there seems to be more focus on Ethereum versus Bitcoin over the past couple of weeks anyways, but definitely more positive today on the crypto front. So a couple of products, if people are looking for a way to get exposure to crypto markets via the OTC markets mentioned there by Jeff. Let's talk a little bit about this China news that we've been dealing with over the past couple of weeks, and specifically Tencent Music. Obviously, there's been Tencent Holdings as well, the parent company, but there's been negative pressure right across the board on these stocks because of what's happening with this clampdown. I mean, big moves, yes, in Tencent, but how has the liquidity been, and what are we seeing as far as volume?
So, okay, so I mean, liquidity is always there in Tencent, right? You know, I think I mentioned this in the past before GBTC and ETHE was around. Tencent was always the go-to trade, I think, for you know, for guys like yourself and also just in general in this marketplace, right? So liquidity's always been there. You know, I'm looking in the pre-market right now, and there's a 10 cent spread in Tencent on OTCX right now. It's 400 shares by over 13,000 shares, and you know, that's in the pre-market alone, right? And I'm sure there's more behind that as well too. So yeah, pulled it right up there. You got the level 2 there. You guys can see it. It's right there. And you know, for pre-market trading, that's pretty decent. It's actually up almost $2 as well too here. As far as the downward pressure goes, you know, we're seeing these big swings go back and forth, and I think there's a lot of unknowns still, right? And so for you as traders, that's not a bad thing, right? As long as we keep having this uncertainty, a name like Tencent is going to be great to trade. I also want to point out Luckin Coffee as well too. So if you can bring that up, there's been a lot of movement in that stock as well too. Even in the pre-market this morning, traded a few times. The volume is it's not that high, but once the market opens in this name, you should see a lot of movement as well too. You know, it's just one of those other names that kind of fall into this category.
Yeah, and we'll touch on the website as well, because there's a great resource, guys, on the OTC Markets website itself, which is the most active shares. You can just pull it right up. I have it, guys, if you want, or yeah, there we go, same thing. Most active stocks on OTC Markets, so that's a great resource to kind of have open in a tab, leave it off to the side, check in on it every once in a while throughout the session. Jeff, always a pleasure. Enjoy the summer. I hope you're getting out on the golf course down there as much as possible, and always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great stuff. Guys, tons of opportunity still on different markets throughout the summer. So there's a few from our friend Jeff Mendel. Sean, looking at some of those grayscale products from time to time as we get these cryptocurrency markets or crypto moves in the markets. It's been a pretty active couple of names anyways throughout the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, it's nice to see like ETHE. They do follow exactly what Jeff was saying there. If you are going to look at something, okay, so it was reverse split. Well, obviously not 172. Let's just close this a little bit here. But there you go. So, I mean, it does follow Ethereum. If you look at a graph or chart of Ethereum. Obviously, it's going to follow it pretty perfect. It's not going to be 1-to-1, but you look at the price right now, 23.77. The price of Ethereum, 25. So it's pretty close to 1-to-1 on that kind of a scale, but it does move with it. So if you're looking at something, I would say, I mean, if you have access to Ethereum or the OTC markets, trade it. And then the other one is gbtc.pk. And the thing is that the liquidity is good. The liquidity is good. I mean, Jeff is 100% right. It's just they are a little tricky to trade. You got to watch Bitcoin with it, and that it just follows it. So unlike a SOS or some of these other names that we have trading, those other minor names, this is going to be basically just the Bitcoin. And then we do have BTCC.B. BTCC.B here in Toronto. If you do have access to Canadian funds, this is also a good one to trade. It won't do as much volume as Jeff has over there at the OTC markets, but .B is for Toronto, Canadian funds, and then .U for US funds. So I do like that. And they also have an Ethereum product. So there are opportunities to trade in a registered account against Bitcoin.
All right, guys, let's get a few analyst moves for today. Yet again, this one on here, Square. Been a couple days in a row here. Another positive move for Square. Lululemon back to the upside today. Under Armour, we talked about yesterday, that Simon Property Group as well. I did notice that that is definitely not the right price target for Nikola at 400, guys, but a downgrade today and price target cut. And Alibaba, Sean, to the downside.
Why can't it be? Why can't someone think Nikola's going to 400? I mean,
I do.
It's ridiculous, but hey, why not?
Reverse split, 400 to
That's
1.
how. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely, anything can happen. You saw Skills on that list. They're down. They report earnings. Down 4%. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be a super mover. I kind of came in here today thinking if these guys missed, just from a pure like a technical, these wicks are ridiculous, but just from a pure like technical break, if it ever gapped down and tested that 1230 low, you can kind of see here, forget about these wicks, that one could break down, but not a heck of a lot of momentum. They do catch the downgrade, so it's kind of on my list. I was like, okay, earnings usually can be volatile. It's been under a lot of pressure, and they did disappoint, but even with that downgrade, not a ton of volume pre-market, but 1230 is that low that you were concerned with if Skills is going to make a bit of a break there.
Yeah, I'm a little bit scared of Skills? No. Actually, we talked about that yesterday, and it's funny that you brought that up. Actually, I like this stock, SKLZ, their NASDAQ, I believe. No, New York, okay. I like it because of where we were on the daily chart here for Skills and how far down we were, but obviously, like Neil just said, they miss. So I was looking at these levels, believe it or not here, man. I mean, you know, this is as low as it's ever been. So, you know, we try to pick up some value names that cross that $10 mark, things like that. I don't know if Skills is a value play. It's definitely not. But it's coming back down to the downside. So if you do have some fresh powder, this isn't a horrible spot here. 13, we touched down back in April, 1230-ish. You could use that as your very bottom. So that's not horrible, guys. So you could take that here. But again, if you do get into this name, you want to be able to get out. So that's the one thing here that you could say that, you know, if you're long 13, you could get out here at 1250. So there is that opportunity. And I did want to talk about it because Brendan, of course, brings up Alibaba. And the last buy on that one was 183. But I want to put the poll up. Where's the poll from yesterday? Oh, God. Here it is. Okay, here it is. Good. So yesterday's poll, thank you for voting. It is now closed. We have a final result now, so we dab up for you guys. Thank you so much for voting. 750 votes on this one. And are we dabbling in any names? And it looks like, thanks, Twitter, for highlighting this for us. No. Easy winner here on the no side. Whenever you have three choices and one of them is 50%, you know that that's a good one. So big time on the no side of that. But 50% say no. But more than 50% say yes. It's just a matter of what kind of nibbling are we doing. And for me, I'm done with that. I'm going to wait for Alibaba just to go. And I'm done with, you know, trying to pick out bottoms and things like that with this name. I'm only calling this up quickly because I want to show you we have to get above here. Like if we can get above this 50-period moving average, and then I'd really like to see it in and around 222. If the market's rocking and rolling like I think it is, will be, then this is going to be a good play in and around that 220 mark. So I do like Baba, but again, I actually I mean, I don't want to have more negativity come in the name, but if it does, it will give us an opportunity to buy in this wick again. And I tweeted out when we bought this. We talked about this on the show down here, so this is not like one of those pipe dream bids that I say, you know, when it's back up here at 260, I say, oh, remember when I bought at 183? Well, at least now you know that I'm long there, and if it goes down, it goes down, and that's what it is. But I started this position in the 260s, and then we bought again in the 212 area in this cluster, and then we bought again down here. So our average price probably somewhere in the 230, 240 range. So I'll double check my average price, but I still think Alibaba should be bought. But the best one of the names of the groups is going to be NEO, as that keeps going upside. So.
I'm just noticing, guys, Lyft now negative on the morning. Let's jump into what is moving around in the pre-market. If you still need it, guys, that is the link to grab the morning note. We send it out every single morning before we come on at 8:30. Absolutely free. All you need is an email. Lyft going to be the first one here we discuss. Yeah, 0.3 to the downside now after a decent move after market yesterday. Got all the way up here to I guess 60 or in the range of 60, but all the way back and then some for Lyft, guys. They posted before adjustments revenue for the first time ever and said they're also going to remain positive on that front going forward now. But it was still a loss overall for Lyft, guys.
I mean, yeah, I mean, the overall loss is kind of expected, but the ride number was like 17 versus 14. Year over year, that was, I think, still down like, I think it was down like 30% or something from last year. Of course, that's going to be pandemic related. The market doesn't exactly love this one. It's the difference between Lyft and I think Uber, at least not. I mean, obviously they're different companies in terms of what Uber offers. Lyft's mostly domestic, and Lyft doesn't have the eats and more deliveries, which Uber is doing. So yes, they're streamlining their business. Maybe that puts in a little bit more risk, but they're also priced a little bit better than Uber. So they've been a little bit stronger, which would mean you had to have, I guess, a more spectacular number to have some runway here, back up towards maybe even breaking, I guess, that 60, which clearly was a bit of lower resistance. I would have thought that maybe you would have at least tested 63 in a positive number. That hasn't happened. Support's going to be down at 50, but for me, this is what it's more about what it means for Uber. Look at that. Flip right over and no problems. The chart, thank you for loving me. But Uber made like a 42 print yesterday, right? And then bounced back into those Lyft earnings, but you're already at that sort of last-ditch sort of support level right around that 40, 42, 43, and you slip back in here and it's like, where you want this thing is going to be 34 to 38, given what just happened to Lyft. If they don't have good ride numbers, then there's a decent chance you're cracking that 40 level. I think at this point, you know, unless there's a nice market reaction here by Lyft today, it's going to be more wait and see on Uber after earnings. I would have loved to be able to say, hey, you're now in a spot where you can just pick it up and gamble going into earnings, but the reaction was not all that positive. And then, of course, you have that whole reopen play with everyone worried about the variants. That could slow things down, maybe push some of this, what I think is going to be a bounce, obviously, a couple of quarters down the line.
All right, I give it the big thumbs down to all this stuff, Uber and Lyft and all this nonsense, because right now, honestly, I'm definitely into this whole second wave, second pandemic sort of fourth, fifth wave. I don't know how many waves we have right now, and they even talked about it. I did put it in the note here. It's one of the top stocks that I talked about. I mean, it's a great profit. They hit profit ahead of quarters, right? So that's a great one. Long through 57.50 if we can get it. But then I wrote down at the bottom, Delta is an issue, as you guys know. I'm not talking about the stocks Delta. It's just, you know, this is the thing, you know, they were race to profitability, great news, and then the guide and the worry about what's to come lower. So I'm nervous about this whole space. Look, you're only down 0.4%, but considering that they'd finally turned to profit, which was ultimately their goal, which is what shot them up numerous times, like a lot of these big ups were because they had changed there, and I think these are all like, that's probably earnings, that's probably earnings, that's probably so every single time they kept saying we're going to be profitable just a couple quarters earlier, and that's what the benefit of them versus Uber was. And then they come out with that news, hey, we are profitable a couple quarters earlier or months earlier than they meant to be. Supposed to be third quarter, I believe, this year, so a couple months earlier, than expected. And now you're going to see that it should have rallied, man, and it did rally, and then it's faded. So I'm very, very nervous. I don't think we touch this 63 anytime soon. And again, you know, I think it just goes with the variant and with how the economy is. So if the economy picks back up, travel comes, people start taking cabs again and things like that, then I love Lyft here. But for right now, I'm going to let this sort of settle, see if we get a 54 break maybe today, and then we'll wait. We'll let it go. But right now, Lyft, for me, not an actionable buy. Neither is Uber, but we will wait for their reports. I mean, I'm a buyer at some price.
I gotta say, like, I've been actually watching the track tape because I'm like an absolutely ridiculous, gigantic track fan, but there was no way I was gonna be able to stay radio silent. Congratulations to Andre DeGrasse. I mean, if you watch the semifinals, you probably knew. I haven't seen the race, but apparently he has won the gold. Unbelievable achievement for that guy.
So I actually bet. So I've been watching all the Olympics. So I've actually bet DeGrasse to finish top 3, and then also at plus 400 to win the gold. So hell yeah, thank you so much for that. As the Bulls be kicking, we're winning in the markets and with online gambling. So I'm willing to. I'm not really winning on online gambling. No one ever does, but that's a good one. Thanks for that.
The only bet was that the 400-meter hurdles was a race to bet. I mean, it was just like
that guy was obvious. So he smashed his own record, didn't he?
Yeah, but it was 1, 2, and 3 with 1 and 2 breaking the world record. Lucas, you remember that's exactly what I said would happen. And in the women's, you're going to get 1, 2, and 3 will be McLaughlin, Muhammad, and Bull. And Sydney McLaughlin will break the world record only, just her, and not the other 2.
Yeah, McLaughlin's 21 years old. Wasn't that over? That was over yesterday. Or was that
I haven't seen. There's a lot of stuff I haven't seen. So if it happened already, who knows? But I'm like way behind on this stuff because I'm trying to stream it at night after the kid's down.
That's Neil. That's a 200.
Apparently a 200.
Yeah. Wow,
Congrats.
pretty cool. Yeah,
he was supposed to win.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Let's bring in a room, guys. Have a look at the overall market. We'll check out what we need to be aware of. Wow, this RLX just falling all over itself right now. Probably an offering. I'll check on that in a second. Hi, Arun. Let's talk about the futures here. What do we need to be aware of?
You know, in a market like this, maybe RLX is the trade to go with. We're in a range. We're playing ping pong in between 2 levels. This is a level that, or the 2 levels I've been working with have been in since late July, say 23rd, 25th of July. It's 44.25 to the upside, 43.50 and change to the downside, and it's a wide range. And anytime you get to the top end of the range, you look for a short. Anytime you get to the bottom end of the range, you look for a long. You saw that in play on Monday. We were in the 10s, look for shorts. That fell. You saw it yesterday, went to the bottom end of the range into the 70s. You look for a long, that came right back up into the 10s. Here we are falling off the 10s again, right? That's the only real read that you can make inside this range until we break this. And there will be a day if we break it to the downside, there will be a day where it'll catch a lot of people off guard. It'll go right through. Until that happens, it's very hard to actually predict when that day will happen, try to prepare for it. So it's just a matter of just respect what the market's doing in between. And if you see enough pressure on one side, just understand that we do have some support if we get to the downside. We have resistance if we get to the upside. So set your expectations properly, right? I'm looking anything above 44.10. I'm looking for potential shorts into the 44.25 area. Anything below 43.75, 43.70, I'm looking for longs. Pretty much the same read as yesterday. And 43.50-ish would be the stop. It's actually just underneath 50, but I'm going to say 50 for now. It's going to be based on how it breaks and how much volume comes in underneath 43.50. But let's just say 50 for now. The market's at 4,400 at the moment. Hey, it's mid-range. You leave it be, and we'll go ahead and trade RLX like Brendan said, right?
Attempting to anyways. Thank you so much, Arun. We appreciate your time as always. It's going to be an interesting day here, guys. This RLX is an e-cigarette maker that was up this morning in the pre-market here, but it looks like Chinese media is talking pretty negatively currently about specifically e-cigarette makers. So a heads up, RLX back to negative here this morning so far. Guys, let's continue along. The most exciting one so far this morning has been Robinhood after the move we saw yesterday back above the IPO price and then some if you include what is happening this morning, guys. So what do we do with Robinhood today?
We go long.
Buy the dip?
I mean, I wouldn't short it until you see something again at 55. So I think you got to wait to see what happens again here at 55. And it was, I guess the world record's 19.19. No one's ever going to break that. That was Usain.
I wouldn't say ever, but I mean.
Well, yeah, DeGrasse did 19.62. So
yeah, the kid from the U.S., Arrington Knighton. Like if someone's going to do it that actually exists in this Olympics, it'll be that Knighton kid. I don't know where he finished. I haven't seen the race, but so quickly on Robinhood, I think there's the only levels I actually and this is 100% like just psychological, is I just attach a 50% to that 38, and then both to the 38 and then to that 42, which is the reference price. So I just go like 57 to 63. Those are the two levels that, like yesterday, in yesterday's action, because of course sometimes our trades show up, but I can tell you, we shorted only two things, and was that 40 to 40.25 area. That was good. We shouldn't have ducked it again. I can tell you on this break, you're getting stopped out, and then the 42 break, and even the 40 break as well. Like, it was like 30 to 40 pennies on this one, and this one was almost even bigger. But those are the only levels to play. Like, 40 gave you that shot because that was the high going into it, and then 42 gave you that shot because that was the reference price, 38 to 42. Above there was nothing to do. I just basically sat it out until the afternoon. That's the only reason I'd say add 50% to it if you want levels to the upside. I probably won't look at it unless we're talking halts, unless we're talking 57 or 63. And then buying dips to 52.40. And then obviously 50 is going to stand out like a sore thumb, not just because it triple bottom pre-market at 50.50, but because 50 is a nice round number that everyone's going to be looking at.
All right, so back, I was saying there, yeah, so 19.62 for DeGrasse. So that was a good run. Hopefully that Bendarek guy comes second. That guy's good. I love when they stare each other down. That was great with DeGrasse and Bolt, and now everybody does it. Like, it's hilarious, but it's amazing that they can run that fast and be able just to look over and like say what's up to each other. Okay, so 53. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not shorting this thing at all today until we see this again. And if it doesn't come back here, then you could short it. Just talking about the fact that this is going to be a play 55. So let's just wait to see what happens. That's where we already ticked out. We've averaged it. We're going to get out once this breaks 53 and a little bit lower than that because it does look like it's coming to the downside. But I don't want to say don't short it. I think there's going to be another run coming at this 55, and it's just a matter of we'll get out of this short if it doesn't work, breaking through 53 here, and then watch it fall and see what happens. But then, I do want to try to pick up a long into this area 46-ish if it can come, and then another breakthrough 55 I like as well. But I don't want to hold this in case I'm wrong and this thing just drops all the way back to 44, 45. So that's kind of the play there. Brendan already has the biggest banger on board with that RLX, so we'll wait to see what does happen right here with Hood. And I'm gonna have to look at that RLX. I didn't even notice that one.
Like at that point with the news, it's kind of hard to jump in pretty late there. But I think that's not the first time that they've talked negatively about the e-cigarette space. So it's definitely a good look. If it pops, I think it's worth a short. But I want to get to BYSI just because RLX, if it gets back to like 525, 5 to 525 would be a nice target area. But this BYSI, guys, it's starting to maybe barcode to the downside. It's already pulled in. I did think like maybe 27 would be like a support level. It hasn't really actually held up a little higher than that. I'm looking with this one for like a short to pop, and I'll use any one of these like lower highs. Obviously 48.50 was that high. I'm pretty sure it's the all-time high because I went back to 2017. If there's a higher, higher than that, I'm not aware of it. Either way, I'm looking to this 40 level probably first. If it breaks down right here, this is like 32, 35. I'd call it like 32.25. And there goes Robinhood. It just broke 52.40. I'm out. I'm now looking for the 50 buy dip. 50 buy dip, dip buy, I should say, on Robinhood. But scalp a little bit out and then take a hit on the rest. I will be buying dips repeatedly probably on that one and shorting pops on BYSI.
Let's talk about some of these Chinese EV makers. Speaking of Chinese companies, we got delivery numbers earlier in the week, if you remember, that were better than expected right across the board. So they've been decently strong, although NIO did give back a little bit yesterday. If you remember, we're trying to gap up here and hold some important levels. No, I mean, additional news as far as these are concerned, but definitely active and looking a little positive here in the pre-market, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I have Neo. Yeah, so we got out of that Robinhood. I mean, exactly as planned there. Small hit, but still, nevertheless, don't like to take hits. Yesterday, Neo, is my trade going to be on here? Yeah, so this was a great one, and we'll look to do the same today again if we can. Although today the market's feeling a little more negative, even though Ms. V has her nice green blouse on there, so that's a good one. But 44.70 here, we dipped by that early yesterday, and it wasn't super early, but we waited for it. That was 9.41. And then we crushed it to the upside, took the same hit there as we did on that part, and then everything else is profit. That's why we scalp out and we don't hold until the moon, but we should sometimes on Neo. And then it just fell and was really, really weak. So I don't know. We did hold out this 44 area. So today when we get that bounce up to 45.40 there, negative numbers coming. We talked about ADP and what the market was doing. And now I think we just got to look at it back here again. So I'll put some low bids one more time near this 44 area. It's a lot closer than you think. Let's check out the imbalance. So anyways, I like it. I have it written on here, but actually, no, it's not on my sticky note. It was on yesterday's. So 44, there's not too many key levels. If you look at a daily chart, I mean, I like this Chinese name. It looks a lot different than the other ones. Look at Tencent, look at Alibaba, things like that. It's been holding up. We know the CCP does support NIO. So I like bids down here in the 44 range. I always trade this rather than the other ones. I've just been so successful trading NIO, but XPeng and Li Auto also both great opportunities. And
look, I actually only wrote down 43.75, just looking at yesterday's low, if it wants to hold that one. BYSI, it ends up breaking down. My stop didn't even fill me on BYSI, so I had to chase it a little bit there. When it broke that 32, it was at 32.35 level. I ended up getting 31.91. 27, like we said, thought there could be a little bit of a dip down to that price. I want to see if I can scalp it because with about 20 minutes to the open, there's still that chance that it could push to the upside. And I want to be shorting a pop on this one as well. So if I can get some out in front of 30, then I can try and rinse and repeat selling in front of that 35 level. And then if it breaks out from there, maybe look at that 39 to 40, which was the original plan. But it's already headed to the downside, guys. So BOISI just broke that level like seconds after we talked about it. There is another one here, and just because I have the position, we have 20 minutes left. But this ATHE, only because it made a move. Alterity Therapeutics, it just popped up to this 165, which is, if you can kind of tell, gap up, hold 167 here, breaks down, short the consolidation, but this is the price that I want to short, around these 160s in front of that 67. So that's what I've been waiting for. If it gets down to that low 150 range, that's where I like to get some shares out. There's a 137 stock, so you're probably only going to get 10, 15 pennies lower than here if it gives it all back. Got to sort of not tread lightly, but temper your expectations. Like, you're not going to get dollar moves on this thing, at least not to the downside on ATHE.
A bit of a flush on Affirm here as we head towards the open, guys. Back to 66 once again after that pretty impressive move we saw late in the day yesterday. Bloomberg reporting that they're going to team up. Well, it's actually Affirm's PayBright that's going to team up with Apple to offer buy now, pay later services here in Canada for Apple products. So worth having a look at Affirm again today.
Affirm was one that yesterday when the news came out, we can't, I mean, my chart's probably not going to show it there. I'm going to show you the daily chart to show you the 71 level. This has been like a bit of resistance, and then it's basically been barcoding, holding out at a higher low, 55s. We get the move up, mostly, look, most of that move up was sympathy after, of course, Square's acquisition. But the secondary push is what we're talking about. It pushed right into 70 even. 69.94, we're short right in front of that when it came back down, got the 50s, it slammed back in. But if you see this pullback, it gets right to this 64 and then kind of comes right back here into the close. So that's kind of the level that I had pegged in. If it gets to that 64, I think it's going to be worth at least a little bit of a shot if there's support there for a dip buy. I see 150,000 shares in the pre-market trading, just barely under that. So it's really not terribly active, despite the fact that it sold off a little bit here on Affirm, and it's still right within that afternoon range, guys. So if you look at that post-halt up, and then once it's settled down, you have a 69 top, and then essentially that 65 bottom, well, I mean the 64 bottom is still held, but right now it's holding at 65.50. So still needs to break outside of that afternoon range. If it breaks 69s, remember 71 is a big level on that daily chart, and probably have to be looking at that 70. I just did get more into that BYSI. So that one did just pop back in here. If I can get more, if I can get some out in front of that 30 before the open, I'll definitely be doing that.
All right, let's go to General Motors, the other earnings name from today. A bit of a negative move. It was decent numbers. They did post positive numbers anyways, but missing expectations for both the EPS and revenue side of things today. So we are down here 4% for GM so far.
Yeah, actually on good volume. Obviously, you know, you look at this play, and we've talked about like how do you play the How do you play the EV space? I mean, I'm only in Tesla and GM. I'm not really much affinity for some of the others. I don't really play the airlines either. When it comes to automotives, try to keep it simple. But that's not a good print when on Ford's numbers, you kind of felt like this was going to be a potential breakout spot. It's going to stick out like a sore thumb. You have both the 50 period and 5860. You want this on momentum breaking out here, or you just want to play the patience game. So I'm going to be adding the GM. It's simply a matter of when, not if. Ideally, I'm looking at like a 50, or just if we settle down here in like 54, 55 area in the next couple of days, that's not a bad place to just get some more money in when you got money around in the market. Like actually, and this was one I was looking at this overnight and was sort of saying to myself, okay, I mean, if they have a great print, we're definitely looking 58.60 break. You can basically throw that out the window. Maybe there'll be a dip buy. There was sort of a level here at 56, but that's now been breached. If it does want to hold and maybe you catch a quick 56 break, fair enough. But GM not looking as sexy as what I was kind of hoping it was going to be on the day trade in today. Probably a lot better off as we're talking about Neil there. That's probably the better name to be looking for the day trade, I think.
Yeah, we're still long GM from a while ago, so it's not horrible, but I was talking about it today on the note here. It's on the sticky note, and I just think it's just a good opportunity to buy any dips. So again, wow, me moving even further than it was when I looked at it the first time. Back down to 55 was what I was sort of thinking, but we're getting very, very close. I put it on the note there, get long in front of 55. But, Neil just went over some levels. I don't think I'm long in here in the 40s, so that's okay. But even right now, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to add to this position. I'm thinking more around here if it does continue to fall down. It just matters what you think of the space, right? I mean, GM and Ford, I'm in those, and I'm in Tesla, and I've sold out of Fisker, and I still have small shares, but I'm still holding Nikola long, which is probably never going to go back into the money. I think it's in the 20s. But right here, 50.82. Oh, I did check. I logged in and checked. My price on Alibaba is 223 is my average price, so it still needs to get above here. Like I said, I bought 260s. 212s, and then again at 183. So average price 223. So still underwater, about 10% on Alibaba, which I don't think is even really that bad. I wanted to get it back going. Anyways, it's a long-term play. I think Alibaba still works. And then you could take today to get some Ford. But again, if there's no love in the space, you don't need to worry about it. Right now, tech is what's rocking and rolling. I already talked about the second wave, the second pandemic sort of coming through right now. You guys can see that with the numbers. So until everyone gets herd immunity, I guess, I'm not super excited. I'd rather stay in tech than in autos right now. So that's obviously where my money is. I bought more Facebook yesterday. And normally right here, this is looking great for Ford. I love this area for them, but I don't want to put more capital to work. I'd rather put it in some of those other names.
All right, just on Novavax here, guys, popping up over the past couple of minutes, just went 190 to 213, so 13% for Novavax. Looks like they got EU passage for their COVID-19 vaccine, so heads up on NVAX as well, looking pretty positive so far this morning. The next one we'll talk about here, NVIDIA. Worth having a look. It's not doing a heck of a lot in the pre-market, but worth keeping kind of in your back pocket today. Just in case something else happens. We learned yesterday the UK was considering blocking their deal for ARM, their takeover deal for ARM. $40 billion deal was announced last September, if you remember. So these are the hurdles that we were talking about when this announcement first came out that they're going to have to get through and get over before this deal gets done.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to talk about national security. So it goes from being owned by SoftBank, which is, look, it's obviously not a British company, to being owned by NVIDIA. So, I mean, when we talked about a lot of this antitrust stuff, it's not going to be split adjusted. When we talked about a lot of this antitrust stuff, one of the biggest concerns was going to be M&A. Like, you just had the AON deal, the DOJ suing to have that one blocked, right? So that caused a bit of shockwaves through, and big deals are going to come under pressure. Now you're going to get this one here, and this is not even like the U.S. regulators that we're talking about, which are going to factor in as well. This is the new game, and this is one thing that came in with the administration and was talked about with the big tech. Everyone was sort of focused on, okay, well, how are they going to curb FANG? But what we knew was coming was higher scrutiny on deals. And even if this happens, it's been pushed down the line, which I think if you think it's going to happen, or if you just believe that these guys are a winner regardless, I think you got to be buying dips. But 800 was a level. So if you go back split adjusted, this is still a fail break at 200 on NVIDIA. If you look at what happened yesterday and then a bit of a flush down. So you do look at this 200 level and say to yourself, if it breaks back up, if you sort of go back, like 209 on NVIDIA should be like the 209 and change, I think, if you convert it, should be that top. So if we break out past 200, that's where you're likely headed to. But for now, I think you got to play off of that 200 level as a bit of a lower high, and then need it to break out like 202. Like 200 isn't the break that it used to be. It needs to extend a little bit. And I got to stop looking the gift horse to mouth. I keep trying to get 30s on BYSI, and it comes to like 31. So it's like a buck 20 in the money. But this stock just went from 47 down here. So I mean, I don't want to be taking $1. I would target it like a couple of bucks on the first leg, a couple more in the second one, and then try to hold the rest for a lot more. So just trying to be a little bit more patient with that BYSI. It's nicely in the money, but not enough to take the first out yet.
Yeah, I'm still getting lots of people here messaging me WhatsApp about Andre DeGrasse and how good of a run that was. Like I saw in the semis, he kept full speed for 190 meters. Apparently this one, he kept it all the way. They have that little speed tracker. Unbelievable. Okay, NVIDIA. So AMD there. All right, let's go. AMD right now, 90 from $90 on earnings up to, wow, holy crow, man. We are still going on AMD. 114, like when I came in this morning, 112, I was like, okay, I mean, it's still holding up, still real nice. But hello, all the way to 114 and change right now. So if you're gonna look at anything, I would say AMD. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, jam on it. You just tweeted it at me. There it is. I'm going to get copyrights for this. There it was. There's the win there. I hate these glasses, but a nice little victory there for Mr. DeGrasse and Canada. We'll keep hitting that over and over again. Thank you for that jam on it for that highlight. I'll watch it after. I have something like a show to do apparently right now. 114.40. We like that level there. That's been the high of the day, and we'll wait to see where it goes. But wow, 114.87 is the high. That's going to come into jeopardy today for sure, and it's going to take it out. So we're going to go long here on AMD. If we get any bids down into this area, 112 and change, let's do it. But nice little movement here for AMD again today, man. Congratulations, anybody long on this beast with us. We didn't check out Intel. Oh, NXPI reported. Let's see what Intel. Okay, so Intel's still hovering. Didn't do much yesterday. Yeah, we don't look at that for a trade. NXPI did have earnings, I believe. Anyways, it was on our board. Maybe they didn't. Oh, there's a big spike there, right? That's a closing print, though. Maybe it's aftermarket today, but I thought NXPI did have some sort of earnings, but maybe they didn't. Not doing much, but that's another name to watch.
Yeah, I think they did actually report as well. I'll double check on that. But I wanted to show you this, guys. For VaxArt, there was 2 parts to this. Or sorry, not VaxArt, Novavax, I should say. So they did sign this agreement for $200 million as well. Vaccines going to the EU, and then up here you can see the commission approving their vaccines. So yet another viable one to get out into the world, which is great news. ATVI, Activision Blizzard. We sat here yesterday, talked about the China ties to these video game makers. ATVI comes out aftermarket, then beating on their earnings report. We're up here nicely, 6% in pre-market. Not terribly active, but 85, pretty good level here, guys, for this one.
Yeah, I mean, 85 is going to stand out. If you look back, I mean, this is not a lot of volume, but you kind of go back to the last time he tested up here, 84.50 a couple of times, and then that support, the resistance maybe turns to support 83.50. Kind of gives you an actionable trade here on a bit of a beat. And now a lot of this dip down was because of the reaction to China, so to the Chinese news and cracking down on gaming, and that's why you're going to get that push down. But we like these wipeout bottoms. When you get a wipeout bottom, then you're going to get a nice number. You're going to get a chance for a bit of a breakout in a structured trade. So it's not a ton of volume, which stinks, but 85 is 85. There's obviously liquidity at that level. And I got my stop for a break at 85, which is, I think you just take this one. Now, if it cannot break 86, then maybe it's worth scalping a little bit out in front of it. But with an 83.50 sort of stop area that you can kind of dig into, and then you look at this top up here, that's like 87.30, like that's a couple of dollars. So you can definitely scalp on the way to that. I don't know if we can break out that 87.30 just given some of the rhetoric that happened yesterday, but it's a pretty clean break idea with an obvious stop area on a good print. Maybe the only thing that'll run in its way is that the market kind of teetering at this particular moment. My stops seem to go long. I want to have something in addition to just buying dips on, like Neo and Robinhood to get to that long side.
Guys, AMC, and by the way, thanks again to Jam on it for this highlight. I've watched it like 10 times. It's amazing. I get chills watching this race. What a great finish he had. What great. Andre DeGrasse, man. Big ups to you, and Team Canada now getting their 4th gold medal. So the over-under was 4.5. I don't know if we have another one coming or not. Maybe not.
Men's decathlon.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes.
I don't. I'm trying
I saw
not
that
to,
yesterday.
I'm trying not to have it spoil. I know Damian Warner was leading after 3, and
and there's that other young guy who's.
He's like 6'7", which is crazy for a decathlete. Anyways, I think we have a decent shot of getting the gold there. I think he's a favorite.
Okay, good. So hopefully we go over that number. Here's AMC right now, 1.5% now, ripping. So I talked about this yesterday. We actually released a video where I was pretty bullish on AMC yesterday, talking about why. And again, I like these levels, and I don't think the story's over with AMC yet. They have earnings next week, and here we go up to 34 and change. So let's see how far we go now with AMC. 33.90 in change coming into play. So that, I mean, not 90. It broke through that 33.95 area, which was the top. So call it 34, and now we're bouncing around on the high side. So if I drop this into a 20-minute chart, let's just see if we can get a play on AMC here. Okay, so that's, I mean, there's not too many levels up here, man. Like, I think a 35 maybe is where you could start to think about a short, because the last couple days, yesterday we started at 35 and had that negative day, and then today we sort of say hold our beer as it goes up to the upside now. But this gives you a 33 short now coming through if you did like that. Or maybe even a 33.75 or so short. What was the high yesterday? There it is, 33.60. So there are some opportunities for some shorts here, but I do like that 35. If it gets up there, I think that's even better than what we're looking at right now. But I had a 3-minute chart up yesterday, and I guess it didn't save, so now I got to do that again.
Yeah, AMC, I want to sit that one out till we get into that 34.50 to 35 range, at least in terms of thinking about shorting it. But if it does a dip, it's already put in a couple of lows off that, the higher low off of 31, that double bottom at 32. So you got to figure there's more support there. But some small caps here that are on the move there, Brendo.
WHLR to be specific, guys. This one, day 2, I guess you could call it. Big move yesterday. A little real estate trust. A couple things to note. 450 is a bit of a pivot here on the daily chart. We're kind of in this 430 to 450 chop zone right now. It's still showing a lot of strength, though, in the pre-market here. Look at the volume that just came in as it took out day highs here. So a heads up on WHLR, 430, 450 above that. There's a lot of room all the way back up to above 5. If it does fail, I want this thing below 4, 390, and holding below 4 and 390 for WHLR.
Yeah, and I think below that level, it kind of gives you a look to about like 340 to 350. So you have like a 10% move from down there. Activision just pulled off of that 85, by the way. So it's now down at 84.30. Looks like it might be heading southbound. That RLX, just because it's a big time mover, you got to get to it. I know it's the offering that caused that move down, but it's starting to come right back in here at the open. So 930, of course, I wanted to be back into, I'm probably not going to get Activision. I'm going to look back over at Robinhood because, of course, that name just decided to come back a little bit here. But RLX, if we get a 930 pop, I wanted to test VWAP. At this point, I might even give it all the way to that 540. So they did report an offering. That's why you see that crazy spike to the downside there. Robinhood's back at 54. So bought the dip, scalped some out, and then, of course, it ends up breaking that 52.40. But not yet, and I should be on, sorry, apologies, guys. Sometimes I'll look at the chart, and I'm like, no, I didn't flip it for you guys. That's my bad. So we got some out here, and then it came and broke that 52.40. Now we're testing those highs again. This was a failed 55 break once, so I don't like levels that failed on a break. I think you take a break higher than that. But the dip, if this falls off the open, I'm watching 50-50. That's obviously you can see here, 50-50 not to draw. The price action on Robinhood. It has that weird setup that it feels like if it fails at the top, it's just going to shake a bunch of people out and then look for that crazy move to the downside. Anyways, we've seen that before. That's kind of what I'm thinking might happen here.
Okay, yeah, I'm already getting ready to lock and load it. I talked about wanting, it's crazy because when it was down here, I was saying we're probably going to test that 55 again, and here it comes right now with only 2 minutes to go. So, man, looks like I will probably wind up long here, this name, Robinhood, very, very soon. Let's check out the imbalance locator quickly. Everything gold is here, Barrick Gold at the high side now. I think gold has a chance now a little bit. you know, it's starting to pick up a little bit, so we'll see if Barrick Gold can get going here. Ford on the sell side, we've already talked about that. Brennan's already talked about RLX a little bit. Brennan, it is a buy imbalance, not that that matters. And then Skills is down here as a sell. DD also as a sell. Right now below that 10. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting. I don't see AMC on here or anything like that. XOM, yeah. Oil down 3%
Oxy,
right now.
I think Oxy had some great numbers there, I'm pretty sure. But I got to flush this one down to it. BYSI just hit that, tip down to that 27 marker. I just got some in front of 28. We talked about 27 being a pullback, so that'll be a quick 5 bones on that trade. I think we can get down to like 21 at this point if it wants to come back in further. This is great news, but it's up 190% still, and then turned. And this, trust me, this was it was a kind of a key level all the way back to 2017 on the daily chart, 48.50, and it turned at 47. Usually that's a little bit of a significant point there. So BYSI continuing its flush. Robinhood getting very close to that 55, Sean.
Guys, like ETH right now, just rocking and rolling. I say what's up to Giancarlo there. As, you know, like we can all, people can, you know, complain about crypto or whatever, like get nervous and like crypto's a scam, whatever you want. But like you just in a week, man, you just got 1,700. So that's like $17. I mean, whatever, you talk it like that. $17 up to $26, right? So, I mean, that's a big move in about a week and a half, maybe not even that much. So a big move back up for crypto. Man, they're supporting this stuff. I'm very, very excited of what's to come here in the fall with only 10 seconds to go now. Let's get locked and loaded.
Yeah, a little bit slow on the countdown. Miss V is on the bell. We're going to make you ring it a little bit early. She's in the green. Mark needs to get green. It's actually 2 and 1. Ring it right now, Miss V.
Go. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. All right, there we go. Yeah, a little bit late on the open there, but we're there and we're live with you right now as the market is now open and we're going to see where we're going here. It looks like right now Robinhood just breaks, man. We missed that bid, so we didn't get that bid through 55, but it does break. Again, I only crossed up that 10 cents. What a big move. We talked about Robinhood through 55. There it goes.
Yeah, I mean, like it's that other stop you got to use, I think, every single time. You know what I'm talking about, that edge A direct edge stop. If it comes back in, maybe test that 55, it could be worth it here for a secondary push. Like I said, there's no levels unless you just randomly start attaching like 50% upside from 38, 50% upside from 42, guys. It's just continuing to run. BYSI just halted downside. It's at 25, so watch out.
Unbelievable. Like, what an easy trade there, and I just missed that 55 break. Congratulations, everybody that has that, as Robinhood is just off to the races right now. Nothing but love for Robinhood. And again, we have that, man. You know, we talked about already being long. We talked about that 55 mark, but then we miss it. 58 and change now, and doesn't appear to want to stop. So there goes Robinhood. Good trade there. I wish I could get long somewhere. Maybe 60? Who knows? This thing continues to fly. Can't believe we were long in the pre-market, and I'm not long now.
Oh my God.
Robinhood, the name that just keeps on winning, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I can't take my eyes off it. I was like I tried to catch another break there. I can't even get it. I get it right now. Cancel a dip buy. If that dip buy were to fill, it would be complete insanity. So I don't want it. That BYSI, we did say be careful because of liquidity concerns. Yeah, so volatility halt to the downside at 25 here. As always, I mean, I'm going to use this opportunity because if it takes out this 18 or gets down to that 18 to 21, I think that's going to be a good place to get out. But because I've already taken 2 legs out of it, I'm going to hold through the halt and manually cover. If I had not covered some pre-market, I would be getting that portion out 100% when it reopened.
Wow. Yeah, just watching AMC's ripping around here as well. So there's lots happening here today, including there it goes through 60. I guess it's going to halt at some point. Maybe
I don't
not.
think so.
We'll wait to see up to 61 now for Robinhood. And again, man, thank you for yesterday. Hopefully some of you are still long that 38 call that we had yesterday for a double up almost. I mean, not almost, but you may get there today at some point. mRNA falling down a little bit. NEO doesn't give us any fall down spots. Let's see if AMD rips through the high right there as well, and we missed that through 114.80. So it's been a day of misses for me here. Hopefully we can turn that frown upside down and start to get some positions here as the market's starting to come back a little bit. But wow, a lot of these names that we loved are just off right now, guys.
Sorry, I mean, that was just a 60 break there. You're just going absolutely crazy. Like, unbelievable. I'm sitting in all these shorts that are actually doing very, very well, but I'm just staring at the one that got away, and that's going to be Robinhood. And obviously, I talked about 63 just because it was 50% up from that price. I can tell that right now. Like, usually I look at those levels, and if it was a turn, I would take it. I stared the level 2 in the face and was like, there is no way in heck. I know it's going to turn to 62.50, and I was like, if you saw a turn at one of those prices, 38, add 50% to that or 42. Yeah, maybe that's going to be a pullback, but I really don't mind missing out on this short. To be honest with you guys, it's just pretty obvious that it's ridiculously strong. There are other names that are moving. I did get APDN. This was just from yesterday's action. If you were trading this one in the afternoon, you might remember that it had this support level at 640. So when it broke that, it's a simple short, guys. Just when 640 broke. Anytime you look at the day two and it had a halt up at 635, then held that halt price, I'm going to short that on the breakdown, guys. So I was able to get that one. It's a good trade, but can't keep the eyes off Robinhood. I mean, I'm sitting here in a couple of nice short winners, and all I can stare at is 61. Yeah, still at 61 here on Robinhood.
Yeah, I was wanting to look at a firm as well. Yesterday, we took it off this and a little back and forth there, negative for me yesterday. But now today, it's not really doing too much. A firm was on that buy now, pay later, of course, from Apple in Canada for their devices. But 68.50 maybe something, but it's not really. It's trading okay, but not great. Still 60-cent spread there when it opens up. So give me something else, Brendan.
AMD, all-time highs,
right.
guys. Just took out that 115, so a nice look. 3%, was 3% there for AMD.
Yeah, AMD. I mean, I'm just going to get into this one right now, 115.86. I mean, we missed that. We talked about that in the pre-market right here, 114.85. That should have been a free dollar right there, and we didn't even take it. So anyways, we'll get in it right now for a nice little win. We just took it there, so let's go. Hopefully, this name can continue to move now to the upside. 116.40 is its new high. We'll put an offer around 25. Here we go. So that's fine there. We'll go a little oops. Wrong
it's going to halt.
Diamond hands there.
Hood might resist a halt here. Oh, gimme. Did I get it? Oh my God, it resisted a halt. So it was a bit of a fake out there. So in and out of Hood, you're gonna see, I'm gonna show you quickly. Oh my goodness. I wish I could have shown you guys that one live, but it was a fake out halt, which, why am I on NVIDIA? Give me a break. It basically was at 65.60 and about to hold a halt. If it breaks down at that halt and it doesn't, you're like it's gonna flush. So I did that patent idea where it's like if it breaks at 60, I'm going short. I got 58s. It then immediately snapped back up, but there's enough liquidity. Right away, you know what you're gonna do, which was get the hell out. I just got on the bid there, was able to catch in, I believe, like an edge A or something like that at 60. So if you talk about no matter what happens today, I mean, BYSI could open up at $20 and be a $13 winner. My best trade of the day will be not getting caught in this halt to the short side. I promise you that.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. Oh, that's just moving around now. I don't even know what's happening to the stock that I have. Okay. So we're gonna go rocking and rolling right now a little bit. I don't know what just happened with one of these names. Okay. AMD right now 85 cents in the money and still moving around. So we'll see what's gonna happen with that one. That is right here, guys. What am I looking at right there? That's AMD 116.85 now, and ripping to the upside right now is AMD. So let's watch to see what happens here with this name as it's continuing to go now. AMD 117, $1.11 now in the money on this name as AMD continuing to go upside. But we do want to watch Robinhood to see what exactly is going on there, guys.
Oh man, BYSI opened up. I'm like, yeah, baby, it's flushing here. So I'm like, I'm just gonna stick a stop at that halt price and figure I can ride it. So I end up getting out at that halt price at 25. It'll be a nice $7. Look, we'll be happy. It's a $7 winner, but it's all about Robinhood at this particular point, guys. When that opens back up, I mean, to say I dodged a bullet, I dodged like an absolute bullet on that one because that's a setup that I knew I was going to be looking for on that halt. That if it's going to be a big turn, that non-halt to the upside would be one. It's a volatility halt. This is 9:36 and it feels like it's 10:36. Now this won't be open until at least 9:40. But I just got shaken out of that BYSI. There's still want to look at that RLX, by the way, guys. There's a lot of other things moving while we wait on Robinhood. This did pop, but I mean, I don't mind missing out on that 9:30 rollover trade because Robinhood was worth trying to get. There's no question about it. So I'm going to try shorting this one now that it's test back into that 520.
Brendan, what's up?
Brendan, what?
Novavax, guys, trying to bounce back up here to 210. Just tested 210 on another volume spike, so still 10%, but holding nicely above 206 for NVAX.
Novavax. We also do have a nice little $30 now winner, so we'll do that on AMD. Wow, a good, nice move here, 117. Maybe we'll take it out, 117.50 on the top side here or something like that. Wow, nice move, 155 now. I don't have Robinhood, but we have this one as this continues to go up, $1.70 now. The only trade today for me here is this AMD trade, so it's a good one as we continue to go upside, man. 117.50, and it just keeps on rocking and rolling, man. Now 118 for AMD. I mean, mean, Brendan, remember when I was just talking about this? We talked about Intel and why we didn't like that and how we liked NVIDIA. I sold some NVIDIA. And then I said, watch AMD go to 120. And I know people have been tweeting at me about that call, but I wasn't really thinking that this was going to happen, guys. It's been a monster explosion upside for AMD. Congratulations, anybody long AMD, man. Up to 118 right now. That's $2 in the money. And yeah, if you're on sticky note time, you know how much I love AMD. It's on the sticky note right there, up to 118 and not even thinking about turning around right now. But Robinhood's going to open up soon, and that should be a fun one.
I think obviously that's going to be everyone's attention here. I'll get to semi. We'll get to some of these other ones here because they are moving. Semi barcodes all the way off of a $4 failure in the pre-market. I had that one sitting in this trade short the entire time, so you probably could have guessed. If you watch this enough, you'll see most of the patterns. You can probably anticipate the positions I have on. But if you see the breakout that it put on at 4 o'clock, that's at 355, right? So 355 price, I should say, after market breakout. Am I going to get some out in front of it? Every single time. So that's me getting out, take nothing off until it gets into that cluster, and now we'll just ride the waves to the downside. It never popped at 9:30 to get me more shares. That's absolutely fine, but it's a nice little win here for me on semi. And then all eyes on Robinhood. In about 1 minute, it should be open back up. I should get some bids in here in front of 350 even as well on semi and see if we can't work it down to probably 3.25. I think would be the ultimate target.
Okay, so right now we are doing the same thing here. I mean, I don't even know what to do on AMD as it's just continuing to go upside right now. So that's going to be a name that I am not concerned about it, but I mean, where the hell do we get out of this name as it's up 5% again? I might just hold this until 120. That BYSI, wow, what a crazy short you guys had on that one. And now it's only positive 174%.
That's all.
Yeah, still ripping upside here, coming to the downside, but maybe now has it found a bottom? This is a 1 minute chart here for BYSI, maybe that 23 there, but for right now.
Does it halt? It might halt upside. This
Robinhood.
BYSI,
No, Robinhood didn't do
Robinhood
much
opened back up. BYSI is about to halt. That's
okay. So BYSI is
crazy timing, man.
It's Robinhood right now up to 67 again. So if you had that off the halt, looks like you're a winner chicken dinner again on Robinhood. So hey, man,
what?
Lots of money to be mad there. Now $70. I said yes. Remember I said about that halt there yesterday, and maybe you make double your money. Well, there it is right there, man. 38 to 75 and still going. Robinhood is off. Guys, everyone seeking revenge on Robinhood today by making a shoot ton of money. Congratulations, anybody long this name.
Oh, it just did it. Okay, that was actually that might have been actually worth actually doing it. It was about to halt one more time and then did a failed halt and now snaps back up. So it tricked everyone again. This time I don't punch short, right? Because last time it didn't work out for you. Looks like it wants to halt at 74.50. It then doesn't. So now twice in a row, it's failed to actually halt. I mean, if there's going to be a level, 75 was right there. And then sometimes gold. Holy crap. Hands off the keyboard, man. Hands off the keyboard. Play the halt.
Look at Hood, man. I was long this name. Embarrassing to take this out down here on this break when this is what's happening. It's going to halt again. This is what it looks like. No, it's not. Here comes the downside. That's, back and forth. Who knows? What's up, Brendan?
Nicola, guys, remember we were laughing about 400. I mean, it's not 400. It's 1060, but nice move so far. 4% for Nicola as well.
Wow. I mean, to say it again, the same short in and out here if it was going to fake halt for the scalp trade. And I will tell you this right now, please don't do this. I'm doing this because I'm not missing this trade. I can get in and out in a matter of a couple of seconds right here on that failed halt. So I can basically pay 1 cent or 2 cents to take that shot that'll do a quick dip down to 2 or 3, and I'm not really risking getting out because it's in that halt state, right? But I got to make sure in that 15 seconds that I cover. In that particular case, it was not that difficult. The level 2 is giving me that chance. BYSI also going to be halted here, and I know, look, there's lots of other stuff moving. APDN, that's great. It's in the money. Semis, that's great. It's in the money, but these are the two that we're going to be watching mostly. It's going to be Hood and that BYSI. At some point, I think there's going to be a turn. But you start throwing out numbers like 80 and 100, and it might just have to be something like that, like a big round number when people just start taking a hell of a lot of profit. I kind of felt like when the price for shorts went up, that was a bit of a sign. Maybe it doesn't matter at all, and that could be a bit of a bunk theory. It was only 3 cents a share. A lot of times we're paying 5 or 6, so it's still relatively cheap, and a lot of people are throwing some money at it. This is definitely a squeeze. I got to double check because I know options weren't there yesterday, but we got to see if options actually started today on
I think
Robinhood.
options are there today, so that's
Started today.
I think that's part of the problem, and it's not a problem. Part of why it's rocking so much right now.
Problem for the short.
Look at Alibaba, guys. This is for AMC, but we're gonna do it for Alibaba because there we go, man. Nice little move to the upside. Look at Alibaba take off. We talked about why we like this name, why I believe it's the best name in the Chinese space. I like Tencent just as much, but the only name I hold is Alibaba in the Chinese name. So that's obviously why I say it's the best, but not shilling it. I can't shill a stock that's up this much, but just watch out for Alibaba. I think that's a good one. And there it goes, run, upside there. NEO does not give us that dip buy too much. Where was my bid on NEO? It was lower, 44.15. So we didn't get that. So we were waiting for down here. That miracle dip buy does not come in here for Alibaba, but nice little move.
By the way, there is a woodshed going on, and it's in Lyft, down 8%. Guys.
Yeah,
8%.
yeah.
So remember what we said? 34 to 38 on Uber. Oh, come on, it's on New York. Flippity, flip. There we go. So 34 to 38, and this is why you sometimes pie in the sky prices are not they're not stupid. And there was a really great long I missed one time on Tesla, and I was like, you know what? When you have a level that you like, just be ready to get it. And this is going into earnings. If this continues to tomorrow, this is why you don't buy in front of earnings, right? You need to see a ridiculous positive number out of Lyft to even consider Uber. But it's about to get to that price that was worth waiting for, so to dip a little shares in there. So 34 to 38, that's a target. And it's 10% away, and it's only down 2%. But come on. This is top to bottom from aftermarket here, already a big move. And Lyft down 8%. Uber could certainly get there.
Brendan, what's up, bud?
Another earnings name, Coursera, guys. They reported aftermarket yesterday. A nice look here. It was up about 15%, but 4050 gets rejected there once again for COUR. Another recent addition from earlier this year.
Realized that Valeria brought us a coffee. Thank you, Miss V, for that one. That's very, very nice of you. Okay, we're just still watching. I'm still watching Neil, but I should go over to Hood here to see when it does open up, man. 77 by 80. This doesn't mean anything. Let's just check the imbalance locator quickly.
Sometimes
if it's on here, I should sort it by, it's not even on here as a big volume. If I sort this by time, we could probably find it, but it's not going to be a big volume here as I hold my coffee near my mouth because I can't stop talking. So that's Hood right now. And let's put this down because that looks ridiculous. Alibaba 201 and change still going. I need to get into something, man.
It's a 30-cent. It's a buy imbalance, but it's not that big. But sometimes that actually matters, man. Until that BYSI just opened back up and is to the downside, I feel like that might continue to be a bit of a short, guys. Wait for a. Yeah, this one might actually be a short off of that 27 area. It's going to halt. Is it going to halt? I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. Gimme. I'm going to take this one into the halt. If it breaks up from here, I want to be immediately out, guys. So one of these things, if you take a trade like this where it's about to halt on you, and of course I'm still looking at Lyft, just to go over it for the umpteenth time. Because it was in and out very quickly on Robinhood trying the same thing. I go into the halt at 41 because it can only print the offer. You can't print the bid, so you can't hit that bid to smash short. But if it breaks to the upside and does not halt in 15 seconds, I want instant out. So it's you gotta be fast enough to either get a stop order in at 40 or 42 prints that you're crossing up and just marketing out. Now, otherwise, you gotta be God mode on the keys. And that's why I was able to get in and out very, very quickly on Robinhood. And now I'm going short into BYSI, which was already a bit of a banger, but I feel like I bungled this a little bit. I could have had 23s down here in the last out instead of 25. So I gave away a couple of bucks. If it reopens, definitely takes them out in front of 23.40 if it's not there, and Robinhood's open again.
Okay, we gave out a little bit of money. Okay, let's go to Hood there. We did take a nice little win. Oh, now it goes to 80, 70. I mean, how can you put 85?
You can't even get, you couldn't get that print.
How can you even call a bid here? I mean, there's no levels. This is just cracked right now as Robinhood is just, see ya, man. $80, $85?
John, if I had shorted in front of 80,
this market
I would have, you would have been, your out would have been at 82.5. You couldn't get the 80 break. Wow, I don't even know what to say. I mean, and now it's going down. Here it is.
We're pure speechless right now. Is this going to halt to the downside right now? Robinhood, we'll see where it goes now, as it looks like it's going to try to, it is halting to the upside maybe here, or is it not going to? We'll see what Robinhood does right now, as there it is on the halt. Robinhood now halted, where you'd like to get that short, but you don't have it. So nice little move from the 84 and then all the way back down. I just said, where do you find this trade? But couldn't get that short into that halt. So wow, Robinhood just continues to go 72.12 there. The halt price. We'll see where it opens up. My call's probably in this mid to high 60s, guys.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing where you're able to get on those up halts. Actually, not even in the right spot here. I was trying to catch that on the down halt trade there, so a little bit excited, obviously. It's going to happen. Like, I'm going to miss out on that turn, obviously. When it broke back below 80, like I was staring at 77s, and it's like chase down 77, give yourself $5. I didn't like that, but I tried to catch it on the down halt, but you couldn't get the offer. Like I was sitting there, but everyone and their mother was sitting on that offer. You could have caught that bid those times on the way up. But you just couldn't catch that offer there. So, I mean, I can be happy about the trades that are in the money, but whatever. Robinhood, unbelievable. I just can't believe I'm sitting this out. It's embarrassing. Brendo?
A lot of people talking about, online anyways, about SoFi, guys, getting some Robinhood-esque attention here. So big volume and a big move for SoFi, up 5.5%.
SoFi, okay. SoFi finally starting to run. Let's check out on PaySafe. I'm still sitting here trying to figure out what to best do here on Robinhood. But PaySafe, besides nothing, PaySafe up that 10. Okay, back to 1040. It's having a problem at 11, so that's a name that's really not working out right now. You saw yesterday at 11 there a problem. SoFi, I think Brandon mentioned there. So let's go over quickly. Have a look at SoFi up $16. So maybe that's a decent breaking spot right there. Oh man, come on charts for SoFi. We can see. SoFi? Anybody? What was that? Ferris Bueller. You guys ever watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off? I mean,
if you haven't seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, then I don't know what to tell you. Like that's patently
nobody
ridiculous.
knows what to tell you at that point.
I know what you're talking about, Sean.
I know you know, of course.
I was born in the 70s.
Bueller. I mean, guys, let me know if you know about Ferris Bueller's Day Off, or if you guys just must think I'm sitting here like not even speaking. I don't even know where I am sometimes. Okay, AMD right now. There's the long, and there's the in, and then the out. So we didn't hold it all the way to the top, but we did take out 117.50. We held it all the way up here to 118.30. I thought it was going to go test that 120, but then I always get out, when we break key levels. So unfortunately, I use 117.50 instead of 118. I'd have a little markup there, but hey, this is a 115.85. The first out there that's for 40 cents, and then we take it out up there for $2. So it's a nice little $2 win there for me on AMD. We haven't really done anything else, man.
You know what? I'll hit this because
Maybe
it's
GM.
like APDN's been a good short, and usually I'd be like, yeah, 640, it's down like 580, you get that 10% return. But I've just been staring and like missing it. Like I've been trying to get Robinhood. Like trust me, it's not for lack of effort. Like I tried twice to grab that short on the way back in and just couldn't get anything on it. So congratulations to anyone that managed to catch it. Some of those breaks long were impossible too. But APDN, second day rollover, it's now SSR. I can walk you through it, but it just comes down to these halt prices. Fail break to the upside, and then when you broke through that 640, on day two, you're always looking for moves like that. So we're just taking advantage of that rollover in APDN. Brendo.
Moxian, guys, was halted to the downside here. Just double checking. There's nothing significant, but looks like just trending online here. It was actually halted a couple of times here to the downside. So 25%, some big time levels here for MOXC.
Here we go, guys. Brilliant film. Lots of people love it, man. How could you not know Bueller? It's a classic. So there we go. I got you, Sean. Yeah, I got you guys too. That's why I'm here, hopefully. Not for giving you these winning trades, although we are now long GM off of one. Ooh, GM. A nice little move back to the upside there, but we didn't take it, so we'll wait. And then here we go. Who ordered the pizza? Yeah, I mean, great. I love that. What is it, a Ferrari that he drives? That old school car there at the end. Yeah. And then thank you for the super
Detroit Red Wings, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much there. His name was Sean there. So good one. There goes AMD again to the upside. Thank you for all the love. Oh, yeah, Palantir. What's up? Yo, what up, Canada? What up, Shopify in the building right now? So not in our building, but the Shopify in the chat. Shout out to everybody that loves that name, as it's an O Canada name there, Shopify. Okay. Palantir, that's what I wanted to look at. We loving some Palantir. Guess what, guys? This is another one of those ARC names. So if you think Hood can go, wait till you see what Palantir can do. When it starts to go, it won't go to $80, I don't think. Anyways, there we go. Come on, GM. We're waiting for GM to go upside now, so we're trying to get a little energy here. See if it goes 20s, 54, 70. What just happened, Hood?
24 halt on BYSI. Just got the last of it out there at 22. And the only reason I'm going to take it out shy is, remember this breakout? This was at 21. This is a break at 740 that started to make that move to the upside. So I kind of felt like that was where it was going to turn. Obviously going to get some out too early, but winners are going to be winners here. Robinhood now open back up, so I want to jump over to that name. And then immediately, actually opening higher. If this retests at 80 top, wow. I mean, talk about a lot of strength, guys. If it's going to halt down and then immediately retest 80, that's kind of a strong move. I mean, 80's got to be a level for you. Gimme.
Yeah, just to watch it here. If you guys never seen a live level too, like right now you have $1 plus on the spread,
come
right?
on.
Like you can see now it's down to 70. I mean, you could just trade this thing. You don't even have to wait for halts, but the spread is quite large. You got to be very, very convinced on your positioning here for Robinhood, because if you're wrong, this will snap $4 or $5 against you in a second. So. You know, I'm not going to play in these ranges. I don't have a feel for this right now, but we'll have to watch out for Robinhood. And there goes GM, man. We had profits on GM, and then it just broke through 50 as the market trying to come back to the downside. So GM busted there, but we may go back long again. What's up, Miss V?
Hey Sean, Bit Digital is trading on a high volume. BTBT is up more than 15%. Could you guys check the stock for us?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a quick second. I tell you right now, Robinhood just broke through that whole price 72. It got up to 78. When it reversed, I chased $2 down, missed. It then now is below that whole price, which to me is a bit of an actionable trade. I mean, if it breaks like 73, I think you just sort of get it out. It looked like it was going to halt to the downside there, by the way, guys, and then it ended up resisting. So I look back towards this 72, 73 as a potential entry point, or sorry, as a potential exit point. And BYSI did bounce off that 21, at least for now. Brendo?
Firm, guys, just testing this spike high from yesterday afternoon, up 5%. Remember that 70 level, big time level for a firm, guys.
Oh man, I said I wanted the 69 longs there, and we don't have that. So we're going to go back long into GM here, see if that was a false break. We're going to use 53 now as the bottom. Give it a little bit more room there on GM. Sorry, a firm NASDAQ name, of course. We can watch Robinhood now back open like $71, $72. We just talked about that. A firm we have on our list here 69 to take that out, but it looks like it's sort of just bouncing around here. I don't know if we love this name or not enough to trade it, but that's a firm. We'll go back to Hood and have a quick look at that because that's what we're looking at. 71 and change right now, 71.50. Can't believe we're saying that. What a great move for a firm today, guys.
I finally actually get into an actual short here off around that whole price. Since it's like 73 there, I got 72s. I'm going to always scalp some out here in front of 70 even. If 70 even breaks, I'm looking to see if this will take out 68, get right back into this 65.50 where it halted to the upside. So that's the play we're making on Robinhood. It's unbelievable, like, not to have been able to catch any of those turns, but you just got to shake it off, because obviously you can tell I've been a little bit frustrated by it, but you got to be able to shake it off. Just look for the next setup, look for the next play. Now we're below that 70 mark. If it wants to make a halt down, fair enough. When I play these, I'm playing it into that VWAP, I'm playing it into that 65.50. So if it does want to make a stall out there, I'm just going to take it, not look that gift horse in the mouth like, sometimes we'll be known to do, and just get this one out for a nice little $5 or $6 winner. It's just, like I said, it's been tricky from liquidity standpoint, but there have been trades that you've been able to make here, guys. And I think one of the things you got to be able to understand is a lot of times if you have a plan, no matter how fast it's moving or how volatile it is, as long as you execute, I think you can be okay. So we just got out there in front of that 66. We'll take the $6 winner, but there were bigger trades to be had on Robinhood. I know it's still not going to be done. Obviously, it's going to move for the rest of the session in here today, but you have to have a setup. See it first, do it after. The profits will come as long as you make good decisions. The only thing good about this is at least I was really disciplined and then didn't take a trade that I really didn't want. I didn't chase anything too hard. I didn't get a lot of that FOMO. And then I made sure I got out when things were looking pretty hairy here on both those halts to the upside.
Yeah, it's not Randy slamming the desk. It's at Trader TV, Prad and Greg right now. I say at Trader TV. They don't have Twitter yet. Maybe Prad needs to get a Twitter account. So we'll do that. They're over there trading this name today. So it's been lots of excitement here today for show on these names. Watch out here. That's going to halt again, maybe? Or is that just big size going to get taken out there?
If it fake halts, it could be a lot.
No, there it goes. It just ate that size up, so you could have gone long there, I guess.
Nah, it didn't. It couldn't hold above. Couldn't hold above.
Yeah, couldn't hold on. So here we go. I mean, this is just a wild ride here today for Robinhood. 62, 63. I mean, it's just rocking and rolling back and forth here. So just be very, again, I don't think you have to be careful with it anymore. You can see the levels. And if you want to trade this, I think we know what you're getting into now with Robinhood off. Wow, 85 was the high there on Hood. An unbelievable trade there. Hopefully some of you guys had that. AMD still trying to push as well to the upside. And then, the mistrade. I mean, we talked about this one as well. Like AMC, man, that had the same fate. Up to 35 and then basically straight to the downside there. We talked about that 35 level. So just missed a couple opportunities here today on some of these names, man. We talked about them all in the pre-market.
Look at, I mean, I'm laughing because look at GameStop. Remember where GameStop went on that imbalance yesterday? it spikes up. So just like AMC, there was an opposite opportunity here too. It spikes right into that 158 high. And then turns on a dime as well. So they're at that same point that Robinhood was coming back in, AMC, GameStop, and all of those at levels that were actionable. It just goes to show, like, you don't have to be trading Robinhood. Like, you can find movers elsewhere. Obviously, I'm going to get out too early on this one here because it just flamed right through that price. But the other play here, I think, when things extend a little bit more, I should say, I always look at the halt prices. When things are overly volatile, should probably extend these levels out to the actual reopen lows, and there was a low here at 62.26. That's what ends up holding here. So sometimes it should be a range, and the stock gets moving this much. I should have made it a range. I should have ignored VWAP and got out in the middle of that range around 64 instead of out in front of 66. But that's just a quick learning spot for myself here. Where's GM? Hold on a second.
Yeah, GM's still fine. It's 53.50, but I mean, I'm long this name down here. I want to try to protect it against 53 even. So we'll wait to see where that wants to go. I don't mind buying a little bit lower.
Well, I guess I got more of that thing.
I did want to look at Lyft as well.
Oh, I mean, I'm just saying, like, you said 53, so I know I have more of it. That's all.
Yeah, 51. Yeah, 53 for GM, and then yeah, there's Lyft today. And again, you know, on the sticky note, although today's Robinhood day, obviously, but Lyft here today, man. I said Delta's going to be an issue. Watch out for this thing to go down. Only long was going to be if we retook this area, which it didn't. So now we got to wait for Lyft. I mean, I don't want to bottom pick this name either. You know, anything on a negative sentiment today, we sort of got to stay away from it. I'm already doing that on GM, Robinhood, and then look at AMD, man. Really, the only trade that we've had on has been Robinhood. Has been AMD and GM here today, and AMD just rocking up to 120 again. I cannot believe how strong this name is. And amazing, guys, for AMD. Congratulations on that one, as well as Skills bouncing around, and Brendan over at the big screen.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock. It feels like it's been a long morning already. A lot to look at. Here we go. We are still negative. If it doesn't really feel like it, but we are still negative for the S&P. 0.25%, the Dow down half. NASDAQ has gone positive, leading the way. Look at the Russell under pressure today. Right out of the gate this morning. Very weak for the Russell to the downside. Here in Toronto, the TSX just in positive territory. A few other things we were talking about if you joined us in the pre-market. Activision Blizzard, nothing but selling pressure on this today. Even with the positive report we mentioned, wasn't really doing much. 85, a huge level there. That was a great opportunity to try and fade that, although I'm not sure the reasoning you would behind that. Let's go to NVIDIA. Another one along with AMD, pretty strong here. 198.5 was that pre-market high. It got up to 201. Chipmakers strong, guys. Back to you.
Yes, sir. And we'll get back to a couple of other names here that are on the move. I'll go to ATHE. We show winners and losers here. This one, I said 175 stop. I would have told you guys the pre-market high. It did get stopped out. I was getting some good trades out here at 155, and then right before the open, it gave me some at 156 as well. And then we averaged right back in. Always wait for that 930 pop and then only take it in front of my stop area. It was good initially at 170. You can probably guess what was preoccupying me at 935, so I didn't take any out when it gave me that 10-cent winner. But that's the opportunity cost. You see us trading multiple symbols at once. Part of the cost of that is that, you know, at times you're just not going to be able to manage many of these as well as you would like to. So I should have been taking some profit out there. 9 times out of 10, I would have taken that 10 cents for at least a third of the position. I didn't, so we ended up getting back in and then basically taking a hit at 75s. If you go to the daily on ATHE, this one should be on our watch list. This is kind of an interesting level at 183, but really $2 is where it's going to matter. If that gets to $2, I'll look for a short there. Other than that, it's going to be hands off, and watch out for these faster moving and wilder stocks here that are taking our attention.
Yeah, right now, so I'm going to go in here on BYSI right now. You know, this is the Beyond Spring. We've talked about this throughout the day, a couple nice shorts from the guys earlier. And right now, we'll just see if it's going to hold out through this 20 level. I don't even want to hold it to this 19. If we break through 20, then we will probably just take this out. Not probably, we will take this out if that doesn't come through for us. So we're going to hold out for BYSI right now and see if it goes. But I mean, I just thought that maybe breaking around this 22 level might have been something. This is a 1-minute chart, so we're just going to test it. The very bottom is that 2043. So there is some levels there to play off of. I'm going to give it a little bit lower than that, but this is just a play here on some weakness on a name that we know has news today, and it's not horrible. This news, right? It's U.S. FDA and China approval. So we'll wait to see if it wants to go. Already a big mover, man, up to 47 today. We talked about the nice shorts, so we'll see if it does have some love to go backside again. AMD almost touches, man, almost touches 120 there, 119.50. It looks like this one does not want to stop either, guys. Big move to the upside here for AMD. We had it, but we're out of it now. And then GM, people asking me what my price target is. I mean, I have an offer. Well, I mean, I did have an offer in the 60s. I just canceled it. So right now we're long 51. We're just trying to make some money back because we were long and then we got out on a 50 break, and now we're back long at that same level. So let's see if we can get up here into like this kind of level, 70, maybe an offer at 69 to take a quick 20 pennies, and then we'll wait to see what happens next. Uber down to 41.80 right now.
Yeah, it's getting there, man. Like that 34 to 38 is definitely in play. They report after market tonight, guys. Moxie, I mean, like I don't have to tell you guys to be cautious here, but this is 1, 2, and then 3. This is now the 4th halt on Moxie. It can't even stay open for very, very long, guys. So I am watching this name. It's down 31%. It's SSR. Brenda, what's up?
There was a number there, guys. The market trying to bounce here. The PMI, July PMI number there out at 10 o'clock, a little higher than expected, 64.1 versus 60.5. And then the market composite final PMI for July, 59.9. So it looks like the market getting a bit of a bump on that.
Absolutely, and I know we get a question about BTBT, so I will get to it now. And this is the thing. Like obviously, you know, we can take a step back here and see the market's basically flat. There's a lot of things that are moving, but you got to focus your attention as a trader. Like already, you saw I showed you like my inability to be able to properly sort of manage a couple of other positions where I missed profit because of trading or trying to trade hood and then trading in BYSI. But that's what you have to do. If you know it's riskier, you got to get over to those names. BTBT, yes, it's on the move. I'm just going to show you the daily chart here because it's kind of an important level at this 1180 mark. And then if it breaks here, you're looking at that 14. So always go to that higher time frame. It's a couple of days worth of parabolic moves with a sell sandwiched in between. Until the last time I traded, I had a failed break through the top at 9. And look, if you ever see this before, if you ever see this where it's a level that I'm all over shorting parabolically, and then the long break gives you a muted pullback, and then a retest 1, 2, probably not much of an excuse for not getting this break a couple of days ago now that I look at it, and this break at 11 right into that key 1180 area. It could be a bit of a turn here, although it hasn't shown too many signs. It's been testing it 3 or 4 times here without actually breaking through that even mark. So might still have some juice in BTBT. It's a name that has squeezes in it, but I'm staying away from it. I'd take that 14 level. Like if it gets to 14, I would probably short in front of that for sure, but BTBT, I'm hands off. His hood is really starting to calm down here. All the volume is doing at 67. Wow. The fact that it's doing volume like this at 67, it's just, I don't have a word for it. I'm sure there's an adjective you guys come up with. It's impressive. That's wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we just actually took a nice little win there on BYSI. We talked about where we're long, 22.40. We just got out at for $1, 23.48 or so there, or what did I, 32. Sorry, I just hit offer enter and got out. So we got out there at 32. So a nice little win there for BYSI. Again, we're going to try to hold this, see if we can get back into the 30s. I don't have any more offers out, so if it runs, and we'll say congratulations. And then we got out again. This went to 82. Wow, okay. We didn't get out of GM at a good spot there. I thought we did. Got out of some anyways. We're still only got out 20%. So we're still in 80% of this name. But it did touch 82 there. So let's put another offer, man. If we can get 30 cents on this name, we should probably do that. So GM right now trying to battle back. That BYSI is just dancing. And then, man, did we call Moderna to 400? Yes, we did. But there's the break. And now it's at 402. So you don't have to just trade Robinhood or any of these crazy names, man. There's so many opportunities today, like an AMD, like this BYSI, like some of those other names that you guys have been trading. Neil's been trading as well. Brennan, RLX, a big one. And there goes Moderna up 4% now and just still rocking and rolling.
Sean, before we go to Brendan, just quickly here, AMC is headed right down towards those pre-market lows. That's at 32.20. It's a lower high at the double bottom at 31. So look, I mean, I counter trend trade a lot, obviously, but I'm looking for a little bit deeper of a push before getting into the buy on AMC. But I am watching that at the lows there, Sterling. Brendan.
Another one from the chip maker. Analog Devices, guys. ADI just got to All-time highs, 3% on the day there. It took out 173 on volume. So ADI, which is analog devices, all-time highs today.
These prices are just nuts right now. 170 for ADI. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I actually, it's funny. I wasn't even looking at the chat, and I was going to talk about AMC right here because earlier on we talked about all the attention, and I said at the bottom, all the attention is going to be on Hood today. So watch out for AMC to possibly fall. And it actually the opposite happened there on that huge run up for Hood. AMC did tick down at 35, tick up to 35, and that was a key spot. We talked about why that was here. Look at this. I mean, this was the 35 level that we identified that was possibly going to be a good short, and yes, it was. And now you're going to watch out for these bottoms here. 32.40, 32.50 maybe coming into play today for AMC, but we just saw what happened on Robinhood. So can AMC go back upside? Yes, it can. So I'm going to try maybe a 33 break on it. It might need to get a little bit higher than that. What is this level? 33.20. Yeah, there it is right there, 33.20. So if we get above this little wick here, 33.25, I think we'll take it. But let's start to average in a little bit, take some AMC now against some of these bottoms, guys.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's obviously getting juicy down there. There's a couple, just to go over a couple of things here. I know that Corsair, people have been paying attention to it. It's just got, the volumes is pretty pitiful. I know it's been a mover, but it just broke the low of the day here. So this name, which was a meme name before, at one point is getting absolutely crushed to the downside, and just also have to get back to some of the positions we have here. Still dirty. Sorry, I just heard that from Sean. You got to clean it out.
Working. Like I tried to buy some.
The enter key's not working?
Well, it's working, but
Well,
it's very skeptical. So here I am just kind of blasting. There, you like that for the mic? Blasting my keyboard, but I don't know if it's going to work. Anyways, let's go.
It's live, man. You can't mess around here. Like, that's the reality. That's how you know it's real. If your enter key is not working, you got to do what you got to do. Like, sort of damn our ears. Who cares about it? APDN. This is why it takes them out at 585 when it gave me that 10% winner. Right back into 6 even in VWAP, but it's still flushing. No reason not to just hang on to the rest of this trade. Brendo?
Another earnings name from this week, guys. Zoom Info Technologies priced an offering in the pre-market and has done nothing but go straight up ever since then. So 55.5 was support there off the open, up nicely 3.5% for ZI.
I remember you. And here comes, look, Robinhood. It's now a second time that it's testing this 62.4. It's kind of, it's not a random price because, like as I mentioned before, it is that sort of halt bottom, I guess. So when it reopened, it was a bottom at 62.40. It's now 2 times it's bounced off of this price. If it doesn't break this 62.40, it's probably an easy scalp trade. So I'm kind of thinking. If you do this, you gotta have a stop order. If it breaks that you want to lose more than that, like dollar, maybe even a little bit more, maybe a little more of a slippage. So you want to have a stop just in case. So the play I was about to say is it bounces off one more time and doesn't break 62.40, which it just did. I would have gone long on the upside, quickly thrown a stop just in case it would have held a third time. But it just breached it for the first time. So I'm going to back away from that and start looking back towards that 55 level on Hood. If it goes down there, this is where the original break was. You got to figure it catches a bid, especially, it's also 10% down from here. So it could resist a halt in front of 56.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think about what we want to get into here. Square down 2.5%. Roblox up 4% today. Wow. Robinhood back down to 63. I mean, we can have a quick look at that stock here quickly. 63 and change. Okay, so we are right at these bottoms. The reason why I was so pissed off there is because I tried to buy AMC when I literally said I was going to buy it. It was only 10 cents ago, so hopefully it can fall back in and we'll get this. And maybe I'll just pay up for it here because I feel like it's going to break this 33. It's getting some nice love again on the downside. Shoot, man, this should be a 20-cent winner. We don't have it on again, and now we'll wait to see. But we are getting very close to getting flushed on this BYSI. It looks like it just keeps on coming to the downside. So a break of 20 and we will be gone. One more average in right here. We just did it. So now we'll wait to see where BYSI goes today. It looks like it's going down. So I guess that answer will be answered very soon. We did take out, like I said, 20% right there for $1, but it looks like our average price now is going to be 22. So if it breaks 20 to the downside, that'll be at least a $2 hit plus any kind of slippage. So it won't be good. This will be a negative trade, but let's see. Still has some time here to work itself out.
So it's a couple of things, like another test at that low on Robinhood. You can see me long 64.15. So I did take it in front of it. I'm willing to risk a couple of bucks here if it takes out that low one more time. But there was just an iceberg on Robinhood. Of course, it's on APDM, which I was just looking at. But there was just a couple of times right in that 64.15 range, which I actually joined, by the way. There was just a bit of a bid that refreshed. So somebody just picked some shares up at 64.15. Well, I mean, I did, but somebody before me did. So the second I saw it bounce off of that level again, I just said, let's stick it in. This could have been 63s, but when it tested to that downside, it actually broke that level. That's why I didn't get in right in front of it. I'll wait to actually go on some more strength. As always, I probably will not try to look a gift horse in the mouth. If we bust VWAP, get up to this kind of cluster here at 67, I'll take $2.50 if I can, something in that range, and then see if we can't get back into that 70 range. So Robinhood, long, I'm willing to risk a couple of bucks. I don't want to take anything off for a win until I'm getting at least a $1.50 or so. Then we'll hold on to the rest if I can get it.
Okay, so yes, Jude, I did take that AMC finally. I used the other enter key because, you know, there's 2 enter keys on most keyboards. So we use the other one now, and we go long to the upside now. So a nice little trade here, 32.96 now long. So, hey, man, we're in the money 25 cents, so that's not so bad. We will take that. Our average in seems to be working out half decently, not fantastically, though, on BYSI, as now it's starting to come back to the upside. So let's see if that one can continue to go. I believe it has that chance. So hopefully it does come through. That is BYSI off some of those lows. I know Neil's on Robinhood. What about Alibaba here today, as we'll continue to watch out what's happening there? A big thank you to a few people here for their super chats, and it's Mark, the Realtor now. Hey, what's up, Mark? Anybody need Realtor services, you can grab them from Mark, the Realtor here. Josh, Genius ER next week. Netflix, a whole bunch of stuff there. Thank you so much for the $10. We will talk about that. GNUS, Genius Brands. We've traded that before when that was kind of like a meme stock. So you guys can look at Genius Brands, and so will I in a minute. But there goes Alibaba. Nothing but love, man. 203 here today.
Oh, BCTX. Yeah, I'll have a quick look at that. I just explained something in the chat on Robinhood. Like, it broke back down below 64 where I was in, and the bid went to 63. The offer stuck at 63.80. So it went dollar spread, but as it went down, the spread didn't close. That's a bullish sign, right? So as it breaks the level back into the downside, no one's offering below that price, right? So even though the bid falls down because people pull their bids, no one actually tried to sell any lower than that. So I think that's pretty good of a sign. I'm still not going to deviate too far from the plan here. I still want to take some out between 65 and 66 if I can. It's back above VWAP. Then roll the rest, because if this breaks out past 69, I think we retest this halt price at 72, 70 to 72. Hasn't happened yet. It's still only going about $1 in the money here. So you don't want to get, too overexcited. I want it breaking out of this range, take some out on the actual break of the range when some of the stops will trigger, and then hold the rest for the next level to the upside here in Robinhood. So, it's not to say that you can't scalp this out and be, maybe if you get like 63s into 65, you'd scalp $1 or $2. That's just not the approach I'm going with this long.
Okay, just trying to figure out what we want to do here, to be honest with you. So we do have a nice 30-cent win now, as you can see on AMC, and we're just looking around to see what kind of fills we want here on some of these other names. So yeah, okay, so GM right now, only 8 cents in the money. We missed that one. I mean, it's still a good trade. We like it. We just took some off of BYSI, so hopefully we can diamond hand this name a little bit higher now. I mean, I don't really have too many price targets, as this is a brand new name. I think, into some of these halt levels wouldn't be so bad. So BYSI off the bottom. If we have the bottom, we got to try to hold it. So let's go back over to Brendan.
Another cancer name, that other one we were talking about earlier today with the BYSI is a cancer name. CLVS, guys, Clovis. Back to the upside here today. They reported in the pre-market. Decent numbers, actually. Got back above 5 and is trying here. Some volume coming in for CLVS.
Oh, so finally actually able to get some of that Robinhood out as it breaches that 65 again. I am looking at that BCTX, and this is not look, I know everyone's trading what they're trading, and we always say this, like, stick to what works for you. If something is in your comfort zone, if something fits your trading strategy, that's what you got to go ahead and do. And yeah, you get a great breakout on this stock, and you look at the daily chart here, you can see made a hard bottom and breaking out on volume today at 55.60. But in terms of things that I would chase, I mean, Robinhood's giving you big moves, obviously hanging on to APDN. I don't know why I can't scroll that chart for some reason. My daily doesn't want to work, but if you go back a little bit, you can kind of see the 675 where this might get to. Another 10% up from here, and you're going to get into some interesting levels that you got to pay attention to on BCTX. But the volume, which I can kind of show you here, is still holding up. It's starting to taper off at this 6 level, but if it can get right back up on the, continue this volume spike, it has a chance to give you another 10% until there's a significant level. I'm just not going to be trading BCTX because it's Robinhood. I wanted to get into that AMC. I hope you got that, Sean, right? You got into the long in AMC? I'm assuming.
Yeah, but it's not doing anything. It's literally not doing anything.
I got to move I'm just saying I was going to move my bid because I'm sitting down here at 32. I mean, whatever. I'm sitting down here at like 32, 35. Probably not going to catch it. I have to catch it a little bit higher to start that position because it's starting to go without me.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I don't know where this is going to go. It's not going anywhere right now. We did have 40 cents in the money. We didn't take it. So maybe that was an opportunity to get out of some AMC, but I think we could still go. So we'll see. I mean, I know Sterling Silver was asking about it on the chat there. Look, I've warned about that 32 level. You could see it as it was pretty clear there on some of the charts. So we'll you just got to watch out for that. I think this is a good area to start to bid in and get some more shares. So it's going to make sure that I do have a bid lower. I still have one lower in the 80s, which was my initial one that I missed. So hopefully that'll come in, and then we'll go down here as well, 32.50 or so, one last call, and then we'll see if it hits 32. So I think that's the right play. Here we go, BYSI, starting to get going now again. So hopefully this can go. What just happened there? Oh yeah, nothing. Okay, BYSI with a nice move. My net right now going crazy. So good move upside for BYSI. Let's take out another piece here, guys.
And I'm gonna go back over to Moxie. I know this was like Moxie was a bit of a hold fest for you. Come on, give me a break, Moxie. I've been using and abusing these charts, and for some reason it's gonna freeze on me. We'll get my chart back in a quick little second, but it's now gonna chop up because I typed the wrong symbol in too many times as I'm going quickly here. So take over, Sean.
Okay, yeah, we're still watching this BYSI to see what it's going to do here. I mean, it's a nice move upside. It's going to halt. Let's go, man. I'm going to hold this through the halt. Hopefully we can get this. So let's see where it goes from here. But we're on halt mode right now on BYSI.
Yeah, that triggered for me too. Like, whew.
Okay, so BYSI right now on halt. We're just watching this. We'll see where it can go from here. So we're long already, and a nice trade here for BYSI. I like this one. I think that we're going to have a decent win on this. So we're going to wait for BYSI now. Starting to make some moves, man. $3 in the money. We talked about that. Shout out to Jude, who was with me on this one. Or was Jude, I think it was. So yeah, shout out to you. Hopefully this can continue to go. But BYSI, we like this one. We like this one a lot now. Halting to the upside long, 21.84. So yes, sir, we spit the money out a little bit on this name as we're nicely in the money on a decent amount of shares. We averaged in there. We used 20 as a bottom. Let's go. It's all about rewarding yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on those trades no matter what. Like, keep in mind, remember, this is just the halt price. That's the only reason I'm even in this trade. It broke that halt price. I got long. It halts into it. I will 100% always take some out on the market on open and then hold the rest of the trade. That's the way to go. Robinhood, just to come quickly to that name, it does, look at that wick, right? So it was about to break. We did scalp some out. And then this wick is going to get me out. There's no way I'm holding through that price again, that 62.40. So if it comes down, we've already identified like 55 to 56 for a crazy dip buy if it gets down there. I'm not saying it's going to 55, 56, but it's still in this cluster doing a crap ton of volume between 62 and 65. There's no way it holds this level all day long. It's going to break out from here. And if it breaks down, I'm looking to buy the dip. If it breaks up, I want to find my way into the long.
Okay, yeah, so we're just gonna have to wait for this BYSI here, obviously on a volatility halt, so hopefully we can open up a little bit large for that one. But right now we will throw over to Brendan for my favorite section, or segment, I guess, segment, small cap recap. Kill it, Brendo.
Hey guys, yeah, busy morning. We'll have a look here at a few that we were talking about in the pre-market that fall under that small cap. This one actually more like a micro cap, but WHLR broke my own rules on this one today. Stood up here before the open and said 490 to or 390 to 4. Want to see it holding below, trading below, holding below before getting into this one. The way that this rejected at the day highs up there, got me into this a little bit early, but it doesn't work anyways. But second attempt here comes back through 420. On this attempt, 420, and in the pre-market, 420 was a bit of a level, so I'm going to use 420 now as the top. For WHLR, we'll see if we can't get back into 330, 340, where that one was trading yesterday. The next one here, RLX, yeah. I mean, you're not going to, on purpose, be involved in a stock like this when negative news comes out. Just happens from time to time. I was more getting involved in this because it broke this support, 540 from the pre-market. So tight, wrist there. The news comes out about Chinese media was talking negatively about these e-cigarettes, RLX company that makes those. So it's not doing anything right now. It's just chopping around in a range. So heads up on RLX still. Watching that one, this BYSI, I mean, it was so thin, it had gone so far that you had to decide yourself accordingly here. It did get back under VWAP, you can see in the pre-market. 35 was that last support level, so I was just using 35 as my out versus VWAP there, and we get all the way down to 19. A couple of shots at that one, so great trade for BYSI, guys. Let's talk about Hood, because it sounds exciting again.
First of all, I'm going to say cheeky bugger there, Brendan, because that's a great short. I mean, that's BYSI. That's a great price that you had there. I got AMC, and I was going to talk about RLX, but you'd have to go back over to Robinhood because it broke to the downside. Now, I didn't take the short break, and I thought it was going to dip right down to that 55, 56, and there'd be a snapback trade. Didn't quite get there, so I was sort of waiting, and I actually had my bid out just in case we did get that snap down. Obviously, that's not going to be where it terminates. And this is why I got out. There was no way I was ever holding that long. Even though I liked that how was barcoding here, there's no way I'm going to hold that long through that break. Probably should have tried the short. The clapping the back must have been trading the short side on Hood. Look, this is still... this opened at 38, but you're still talking about $21 away from the 38 issue price. Look how deep that is in the money. It's still unbelievably impressive, even how hard it's pulled right back in here. I do now think that 55, I might have to go back a little bit, all the way into 54.50 to catch the falling sword, just because of this move terminating at 58. You really wanted on the momentum and then snapping back up. So I'm not going to just take it at that random price. I want the price action to be working with me. So that means 54 or closer to that 55 even instead of 56.
Okay, so I'm just trying to patiently wait. Okay, Brendan, what's up, bud?
I just want to mention OneSmart, guys, a Chinese education company. So we've seen these things get absolutely destroyed over the past couple of weeks. This one, however, not so much. So this was a penny stock. It was about 52 cents, just went to 130 and halted to the upside. They received a non-compliance letter from the NYSE this morning and are up 143%.
Okay, so 24.50 right now. BYSI opens back up. It doesn't really do much, man. It basically opened up at its halt price, so what a surprise there. Not much happening. I don't know, did that actually print 27s? I don't know where the halt price actually was, but I did have an offer, so I know it wasn't higher than where we were. There we go. We'll take it another piece there at 24.50. So another out for us there on BYSI. So far, so good on this name, guys. I'm really happy with the way, obviously, this is turning out to trade.
The print looks like, because I actually the opening print, so it looks like I got 24.95. So I mean that halt gives you 50 pennies. That's not a heck of a lot. It did spike though. It spiked up to 27. It looks like it really did. So probably should have been maybe sitting in front of that. That's this halt price here, and then it reopened at 27. So there's a reason we point these levels out. I'm going to take the 50-cent winner on the front half and then risk 50 cents on the back half, I guess, here, because it kind of feels like that's relatively weak. Spiking into that obvious halt price and then not able to hold below it, guys. So this is me getting out of BYSI. That breakout will end up being a flat trade, but a little bit of a lesson to be learned. If you look back and just say, well, if I'm taking this breakout here, a fail point should have been this 27. Then you bag that 10% profit. Sure, could this thing have run? Yeah, it's gone from 47 back in here, but you just saw it turn around. Probably worth it taking that profit out. You see me not do it there, but that's just a bit of a learning lesson for all of us.
Yep, for sure. And so I had an offer at 25.50, so I don't think that printed, to be honest with you, Neil, or else I think I would have had that. So yeah, right now not too much love on that stock. I don't think it went to 27. That could be an internal print because
maybe.
I was actually offering 25.50. So
I feel better.
Yeah, so I feel better too about that one. And then okay, so just to check back here, I know there's a lot of you guys trading AMC, so we can take a look at that quickly as it's falling into this area right now that we talked about. So these these are just small bids. We'll put on, you'll see my average price come right down when I get a fill down in here, because I do want to put on a little bit of decent shares into the 30s here, like into the teeth of this spot here. Like, so if we can get it, and again, I'm trying to put on a position, so I really want to put on a little bit of risk here on AMC, trying to protect that 32. If it comes down, it goes down. But right now, a little bit lower. We'll put on, here it comes, we'll put on some more shares on AMC, get an average price probably around 50, or a little bit higher than 50 looks like it'll be, and then we'll see where it goes from here. But I'm still trying to hold out, man, for this BYSI, hoping that we can just break the bank on this one and Robinhood itself all the way back to the upside. And there we go, man. Here goes AMC, woot-de-woot, up to 120, man. It's bounced and hit off that a couple times, but wow. I mean, this 115 long, you got to start to hold some of these things a little bit longer, guys, as it's just Rip City here. And I can't believe it. I've been in the market so long that sometimes when you see things, you don't believe them. And I still can't believe AMD is just continuing to move to the upside here. What a crazy couple days for that. I'm sure as hell glad that I'm long this name, but maybe we got to start cashing some out. I don't think so. I'm already at a 25%, way lower than this. And there it is. So my average price now, we get filled on AMC exactly where we thought we would, into the mid 30s. So now my average price 47. So calculated that one pretty good. I said my average price would be around 50. So let's wait to see now where we go. And that's what you got to do when you're looking at stock, right? You got to figure out what your plan of action is, and we do that before we enter these trades. So let's see where AMC goes.
Yeah, and I always take those levels that matter. Like, if it's going to be a halt price, you know, I'll probably play it both ways. So it's been a pretty solid day on Robinhood. I don't want to give it all back. Almost said I want to give it all back. I don't want to give it all back. When you look at 62.40 here, that previous price that just broke down, so I shorted in front of it here. I want to scalp all the way down to that low at 58 if I can. That means taking some out in front of 60. That means taking some out in front of 59 if it goes there. And then if 62.50 wants to break, just walk away from that trade and don't get too, like, you can't get greedy. You can't say to yourself, let's average into this one to death. No, it's playing off that previous halt level. If it wants to hold this, fine. If it doesn't, just get out, look for the next setup. That BYSI, I mean, I don't know, like, it didn't go to that 27, probably is your right, Sean, but I still think that could be in play for a key level, that BYSI, because it's still a halt price and it's holding up nicely. So if it breaks 25 and then takes 27, that could go off to the races. But my hands are off the keyboard in Robinhood, because if this stop goes, I just want to be out and then not averaging into it, not canceling my stop. If it breaks 50s, I'm out of here.
Yeah, bro. I mean, we are pretty high in the money now on that BYSI, so pretty happy with that. Well, it just was $3 in the money. It did get up there. I may put an offer here at that 27 just in case, but it is VWAP, so I still think we can go higher. I'm not holding this because of any technical reasons, guys. So you know, there's that part of it as well. So we'll wait to see where it goes, but that's not a technical hold for me or anything like that, man. We were just waiting to see what it had in store for us. So hopefully BYSI can continue its move to the upside, and we can try to catch some bids here on that name. So that is BYSI right now, just cruising around a bit.
Oh, wow.
As I'm trying to get more trades out here.
So this one came out of nowhere. Remember APDN that I was sitting in all morning long? Yeah, that just came right back to our entry level. And remember that it's at 640 from yesterday. And we talk about these halt prices. Of course, who's going to stop me out there? Said no average into it. You know, just keep your stop. No matter what, you're just going to get out. But you come right back to that halt price, that floor that APDN put in. We shorted off the open. It spikes down. It goes about 10%, then comes back right to that same price. So we just got more shares in, obviously, as you can see by the purple triangle, which means I got short. So back into APDN, it's a bit of a blast from the past. I mean, the past being 1 hour ago, which feels like it's been an entire day. And before I forget, we're coming back at 3 o'clock, not 3:15 for the afternoon show. So it's going to actually be a full hour for you guys. Brendo, what's up?
That's a very good point. 3 p.m. this afternoon, guys. Come back and join us. Coming up in 15 minutes before we get out of here, guys, in 30 minutes. Great interview to come your way. Once again, Enter Dynamic Hybrid Technologies in the solar space. Recent combination with Windular. We're going to have those two gentlemen on the show coming up here in 15 minutes to tell us about that deal. In the meantime, let's get a look at what is happening over in Europe. Miss V, how are things?
Hey, Brendan, European markets are mostly positive. Earnings remain in focus. Commerzbank trading in Germany is down more than 5% after it posted a 527 million euros loss, net profit loss. Back to you.
Yeah, all about earnings, guys. We have a number of those coming up once again today and then tomorrow. So come back, as we said, 3 o'clock today, not 3:15.
We almost forgot to mention that one to you guys. I know you guys will be happy about that, but I'll tell you what's, oh my goodness. So of course, this is the one that's not going to be loving us here. This is AMC. This is on the 15 minute because I kind of wanted to be able to do this for you. Now here's that double bottom. We've talked about that 31, and then it tried to put in a higher low here in the pre-market. If it breaches 32, now the reason why for me, why I'm getting out, I'm not averaging all the way into 31 here, guys. The reason why I'm going to get out is because I think you'll look for that better price. If it breaks 32, at that point, you're looking for a separate trade-off for that double bottom at 31 that we just showed on the 15-minute chart, but it will be a hit on AMC. So we'll do this, at least for now. It hasn't broken, but it seems almost inevitable. There isn't much of a bid on level 2 at 32 even. If something really jumped up, like someone popped 1 million shares on the bid, I would just buy more in front of it and then, obviously just adjust the stop. But for now, if AMC breaks 32, some of the win streak will be over, hands off the keyboard. About 80,000 shares on the bid currently on AMC. I'm still looking at Robinhood because Robinhood is Robinhood, but not a huge bid. We've done like 22 million shares on AMC, so that's not a lot at 32, but if it breaks, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys know, my average price is 40, I mean, it's on the board. Was it 47 there? So we'll wait to see here as it's coming right down to 32. Yeah, there's not even any size. I know Neil talked about that, but there's no size there. So it's gonna crush that, and then AMC will be gone. So I don't even have any offers out, so no real problems on this one. If it goes back up, it goes back up. But right now we're stuck with this trade. I don't think it's gonna go. It's definitely gonna test that 32, and we'll probably be flushed out on that one. I did change my mind a little bit here though, because I mean this BYSI, man, we're now $4 in the money on this one. So for me, that's pretty good diamond hands. Let's wait to see where it goes. I do have an offer at $26.70. So I don't know why, because ahead of this 27, just to see if it wants to go up there. I think, again, you pop through 25 and we get a little bit of a run going on this one, even more than we had before. So let's see. I mean, I don't think we go back up to 40, 41 here, but let's just take another piece out. Man, if I could take $5, that's probably a good decision. So here it comes, and we're only $1 away from taking 5 on BYSI. And when you're long at 20 and you could take $5, I mean, we could do the math there. 25% win. Yeah, right. Okay, good. Upside. So if we can take that, we'll do that, man. And here we go. But if you don't want to be greedy like me, then maybe this is a good price to get out, man. $4 in the money. Take that 20% and then take some out. But I've already taken some out, so I'm going to wait to see if it goes higher. This could be an epic mistake, but one that I'm willing to make.
I don't think it's necessarily an epic mistake.
I hope
We've
not.
seen that stock move, right? And we talked about BTBT when it came on, and thank you guys for the super chat. Dominic, we see you. We saw you guys before when you were talking about this name. Quickly went over and said, just watch out. This is that 14 level. I guess like that's probably close enough that I probably should have gotten over to that one. It got to 1350 and then sort of spiked up, reversed. There was a setup here for that 1325. It just wasn't close enough to 14, to get my attention. That's probably a bit of a mistake. But if you look at it, these pullbacks, I mean, it's basically pulling back 50 or 60 cents and then continuing to run. So I wouldn't write this one off unless it gets back below 1250, and then it could still take a run at that 14 level, which is the one that I was sort of looking for. And this is the thing: if you're gonna go, if you're compelled to go counter trend here, I don't like chasing moves too far on some of these short names, then you got to have a good entry where you know you're going to be able to hold to where you're wrong. Like if you don't know where you're wrong, you don't have an out or a stop, then you're just going to have abject disaster when you go in counter trend. So I start with that. If I don't have it, then I don't trade it. It's as simple as that. It looks like somehow AMC has held up at 32, at least for now. So it bounced off 32.01 and is headed right back into the upside. For me, I'm not adding to this thing. I guess if it holds up at 32.65 and levels off at lunch, that could be a place to maybe start averaging into it and adding more. But for now, I mean, I got 68s in front of that 32 with a reasonable risk to reward. It gets it back above VWAP, and you're making over $1 on that trade. So hopefully we retest that 35 at the top. Robinhood has calmed down. Some of that money maybe coming back into AMC. I haven't checked GameStop. Maybe it's having the similar thing, but for now, it's just AMC for me.
Yeah, I'm trying to do exactly what we're talking about right now is this hold at AMC, so maybe, but then I lie, guys, so I have to come back and tell you, I did take some out there, 25.20 on BYSI. Now I've canceled my offer, so now I guess I'm willing to hold. We'll see how far it goes upside, but right now BYSI, there it goes. I did take out a piece right there at 25.20, like we just said, so there's the out, and now we'll have to watch this thing hopefully run back to the upside, and wow, what a call on AMC off that 32 level. level. Let's reward ourselves by taking some out, not for a winner, just because it's bounced all the way back up, guys. Sometimes you got to get lucky, and I think we did right there. What's up, Bren?
I just saw a note on Boeing, guys, popping up here into positive territory again. Looks like the 737 MAX set to leave for China for recertification in that country. So big pop there for Boeing.
Yes, Boeing. Oh, these charts are getting used and abused today with all the flipping that we're doing here. But Boeing in the midst of a breakout. I know 320. I know 232. We talked about this 232 level a few days ago. You had this little bit of bounce to the downside. You had a couple of failed breaks, support turning into resistance right around here. So this is a big test for Boeing. It'd be fantastic to be able to close at least between 230 and 232, if not above that 32, and then you're making a run of that 35 level. So count me in for maybe adding back into some Boeing. I sold some at 250 to get into General Electric, and then they do this ridiculous reverse split that made no sense to me. It still actually makes no sense to me why they did that, but I'm sure they have their reasons. But Boeing, I think you look at a dip, if it gets down to 229, that'd be a defensible price.
Okay, so BYSI now $6 in the money, still going long $21 now, and just rocking to the upside, 26, 25. Damn it, why didn't I hold this? This is always my situation every day, man. We get these calls and we don't hold it, but hey, this is my number one stock today as it just keeps on ripping upside. So good trade here, man. BYSI now $6 in the money and still ripping. I hope you still have this one, Jude. I know you're talking about that on the chat. And here we go, man. Here goes AMC as well. It's starting to go right now back up. So we did take out a little piece there. Now let's see. Now we're back in the money, 8 cents, 9 cents, 10 cents. So AMC starting to pay off for us. So good trade here. Let's see how high we can fly back into this range where we started averaging would be nice. But yeah, nice little win here, man. We're making a lot of cash here. Most of it is because of BYSI, as that is starting to go now, breaking through that VWAP, which I don't think means anything. So now let's hold out for 31s, guys. I'm going to put an offer in this area, see if we can make 10 bucks on BYSI today. Let's go.
I'm looking at this halt level on BYSI. It's 28.40 on a reopen high. I'm going to stick it in front of that one, guys. If it's 28.40, I'll stick my stop and get ready to go short in front of that level. It's a pure momentum play. Like, obviously, it's been a good stock in both directions, but to me, when I look at those halt prices, I kind of want to be locked and loaded and ready to go, just in case I catch a turn. So one of the ways I'll do it, there we go, get in, stop in, hands off the keyboard. So if it breaks 28.40, it's going to be a tight stop. Obviously, I'm only risking 50 cents in slippage. And then if it comes back down, see how it halts here? It's going to halt to the upside. We did the same. Oh my God, it did a fake halt. I wasn't kind of ready for it. Anyways, did a fake halt there. Was about to halt to the upside. It's a tight stop trade, but if it rejects that level, a lot of times you're going to snap back down into the previous halt low, which is at 24.40. So risk 50 cents to try and make $3. To me, that's always going to be worth it. And when I say it resisted a halt, it was about to halt upside like 28.50 or so, meaning the bid, it can't actually go any higher. It can only print the bid. But within that 15 seconds, it then slammed back into the downside. It didn't matter. My play was already come and gone on that one. But that's what I'm always looking for. Look at those halt levels, be able to play them. But you have to have a really tight stop. That's not an average in or a hold. That is a get in, get out. You're looking to risk 50, make 6.
Okay, I mean, right now we're now $6-7 now in the money on this guy. So that 28 is an interesting spot. So is 29. Maybe we're a little bit too high, waiting for 30 again. We talked about. I mean, we went to 29, so I don't think we're off by that much here. But let's put another offer in case it does go back up. That might have been the blow there. So let's get out a little bit more at 29 if we can, as that looks like that's where we just stopped, a little bit below that, and then we can hold a little bit more if we have to for the end game. So right now we like it. We like it a lot. And let's just see where we go from here. That is our friend BYSI, still rocking and rolling, but it looks like it's coming to the downside. Good trade for me, though. Brendan at the big screen. Let's go.
Hey guys, yeah, let's get a look at the overall market. We are dealing with a negative market so far, 0.3% only, though, to the downside. Typical for earnings, lots of individual big movers once again today. I wanted to start here. Moderna, we talked about a little bit in the pre-market, 4.3%. Big mover today for mRNA right there. Eli Lilly right beside it, 3.6% to the upside. We'll shift over to tech stocks because AMD is leading once again. 6.5% for AMD today. These two keep switching back and forth. There we go. ADI, we talked about 3%. Xilinx there, XLNX down 4% off of earnings for that one. Anytime you see these switching back and forth, they're just very close as far as percent gains and losers. Wanted to mention Under Armour. We talked about that the past couple of days. Recent earnings name, UAA and UA here, 4.24 or 5.26 for the A-class shares. Etsy again today, 5% back to the upside. That one has given you all kinds of opportunities over the past couple of weeks here. Consumer staple stocks, notably weak on the day. The entire group pretty much in negative territory. Clorox down there trying to bounce back after yesterday. Energy stocks and banking shares as well among the leaders to the downside. But as we said, only 0.3 for the S&P, guys. Back to you.
All right.
AMC just came back into like about 32.25, so that's when I'll get some more shares. And it looks like it's trying to support that level. Robinhood making another press. This is 58 on the bid here. This is a double bottom at 58, and then it goes right into this like VWAP at 63.60. So another barcoding situation happening on Hood. You will just watch out. If this thing breaks at 58, I think you're getting back into that 54. But it failed jailbreak the first time on this double bottom, and then it was a third time it tested, so you might see a similar thing happen. I'll try it if I can get. Nope, didn't get it. Oh, anyways, okay, not gonna chase. I only want it on the way down. I didn't get that. You can actually see my order slip in there when it broke. So I tried to get, I think at 80s, I wasn't able to get the short trade in there. If I don't get it on the way down to be able to catch the scalp trade, I don't want to get filled on the way back up. Like if it breaks down, I don't want to get filled when this thing is rejecting that breakdown, and then suddenly I'm short at the low, guys. So there's another break on Hood. 54, I think, is the next level in. That's where I want to step in front of it if it comes down here.
It's crazy that we could both be negative on Robinhood today, and with these moves, like I'm really, really pissed at this because we should be positive on this name today, Robinhood. But damn it, like so many missed opportunities when we had this one early, man. We had like I was long here, 52, goes to 85. We get busted on that. That's so crazy. But now you're coming back in, so this is probably much more realistic, and to have realistic expectations, I think, always a good one. No matter what, the super chat, I'm going to shout out to anybody here. So what up, D? How's it going? D right there. So thank you for your love as well on the chat, and we will be always here to hopefully, guys, bring you some decent trading opportunities all day. So I did put this at, yeah, see now we're coming back down, that 28.29. We were waiting for a little bit up here, 30 and change. We got pretty greedy there. It's still $4 in the money, but BYSI, I still like it, but I don't like it as much as I did here as it's still trying to go, Neil.
Yeah, and there's still, like, obviously Robinhood's making those moves. There is still that AMC. Like I said, I talked about it, didn't show it because the chart that the interest more at the moment was Robinhood. But now I'm going to stick some more shares. And I wanted to see this come back up on AMC before I averaged into more. And I said I would. There's still not a ton of size. It was maybe like 50 to 60,000 shares on a couple of gateways there at 32. There's a decent chance, because it's now lunchtime and it's tested it once, that could be a bigger level. And if it is, we can just actually go over to AMC. If it is a bigger level, that's where I'd probably put on like a secondary trade where, yeah, okay, it's long still, but twos, threes, fours long. If it's a really, really big level, scalp some out in those quarters if you can get it. So like just try to play the pop. In case you barcode during lunchtime and it's a bigger bid, maybe like 1 million shares in the bid, it would be fantastic to see. And then you just go long in front of it, scalp it out, hold that core position. But that's a separate trade. I need to see big size there to put that one on. I don't see anything there yet, but it doesn't mean it isn't possible. Just to come over to some of the sleepier names. And like I know APDN's been a bit of a mover, but it's getting a little bit sleepy. It was a good short one time. I should have added to this position. You can actually see me on the offer here at 660. It then turned away from 660. And I should have added to it at 650 on the way back down. If it comes back up here and using that high the day is the out, I'll probably just get a little bit more aggressive. But the volume is not so good. It's less than 1 million shares, which I think bodes well for the short when you're talking about a day two play. This usually gets faded back into a couple of days worth of action. And the last time it's done this, I guess, if you want to go back to a real parabolic move, it was actually through this $8 level where it failed right at $8 here today. That's why I like that short. So yesterday, that's why I like the short today. Time for our interview. Brendan teed it up. Now he can knock it out of the park.
All right, guys, thanks so much. Yeah, John Gamble and Jerry Foster from Dynamic Hybrid Technologies joining us today to talk about the recent combination of two businesses, Windular and Dynamic, coming together. It's great to have you both on the show. Thanks for doing this. We appreciate your time. This is an interesting space. A renewable energy space in general has been gaining momentum over this entire year and gaining popularity. Tell us a little bit, first of all, about the combination here. What was attractive on both sides and how this came to be?
Well, thank you very much for having us. Why it came to be is, over the last couple of years, we've been, sharing technology and working together. And it just came the right time to put the two companies together. Jerry has the best wind system and proven in the field. Now we have the best solar. Lightweight solar system that's proven technology. So the two companies coming together, we can provide cell tower companies a product that nobody else can. And the big push now with all the leading telecoms is they want to get off the grid. They want to get, and especially off diesel fuel. We were on a call yesterday with a company in the Caribbean. They're paying over $6 a gallon for diesel to be delivered to these sites. And, with our combined technologies, we can easily get these companies off grid with less than 2-year paybacks on using our wind and solar application.
And when it comes to some of these technologies, where are we seeing, the biggest demand? You mentioned a couple of there. When it comes to renewable energy, where does the company see the most demand? And as far as the overall space is concerned, how would you describe what we've seen over the past maybe 6 to 8 months, this year specifically, because we've seen just an explosion in popularity, as we were saying?
Yeah, I think your biggest is in taking stuff off grid, and especially in remote areas. As you see the picture there, the Power Wagon, that is going to be one of our top sellers. We're getting more and more contractors buying into using our Power Wagons to run their generators and to run especially framers and running and powering up their battery for Makita, all your lightweight portable drills, saws, all that kind of stuff.
Jerry, from your side of the business, let's talk a little bit about what was attractive for you in this combination and how this was the right decision for Windular at the time.
Yeah, thanks. The telecommunications market has really made a paradigm shift to move off of the reliance on diesel. Almost half the towers on the planet have some type of reliance on a diesel power source. And it is a combination between wind and solar. And with Windular's technology, we certainly have the leading edge technology in this sector to be adapted into the telecom market. We are working with companies like Bell Canada and Telenor Group. But there's also an amazing opportunity to bring in the EHT solar system, which can be adapted very easily where traditional solar cannot be done. So it really is a good synergistic grouping of the two companies in a marketplace that has a demand to get off the reliance on diesel.
See the specific demands coming from a wide variety of buyers at this point. You talked a little bit about their remote access, trying to get diesel fuel and other sorts of fuels to areas that is not specifically easy. Where do we see this going over the next 6 to 8 months here as we look forward now into the coming weeks and months? Where is the highest demand going to come from?
Well, currently our highest demand right now is Puerto Rico. We've been working in Puerto Rico now for over 4 years. And we have a technology which we're partnered with in Puerto Rico, which is a unique block technology, which combines with our fiberglass materials to make a house that is category 5
resistant.
And it meets and exceeds all of Miami-Dade hurricane ratings. So this now and with the administration now in the U.S., they've put over $11 billion into Puerto Rico in the last 100 days. So finally, the projects there's over 40,000 homes to be built. We know we have the leading technology there to start and build. We have an order currently for over 200 homes. We have the first blocks made, and we'll be in the ground building the first houses early September, and then go from there.
And when it comes to future projects in this same area or arena, tell us about the scalability of this type of a product and where the company stands on that side.
Yeah, I mean, the scale, we can scale up to whatever the orders are. We also have orders in West Africa currently contracted for over 100,000 homes in Ghana. We also are in Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso. These countries now, once we're all slowed down by COVID, COVID is now, starting to go away over there. We're hoping to get in the ground and start some of those projects, late fall this year, early spring next year. But the other big thing is with our material, with this fiberglass material, we can make grow units, and we've been testing with Canadore College in North Bay now for over 2 years, and proven that inside our box we make an environment that is perfect for plants to grow. The plants grow 20 to 40% quicker and larger. And we're now currently working with the federal government to make these units available to First Nations that in these remote areas, that they could start and grow their own fruits and vegetables on site instead of having them, by trucked in or flown in fruits and vegetables into these remote areas.
John Gamble, CEO, and Jerry Foster, President of Enerdynamic Hybrid Technologies. A pleasure, gentlemen. We wish you the best of luck and appreciate your time today.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
EHT, guys, the ticker on the Venture Exchange here in Toronto. Guys.
Yes, sir. Good interview. Thank you for that, Brendan. Interesting stuff. I mean, look, we're trying to bring you guys some different names you may have never heard of. So EHT, they're on the Toronto Venture Exchange. AMC, guys, does break and we get out. So it's going to be a loser. We'll beat it up. But the thing is, man, down to 31. That's exactly what we thought would happen. We didn't have any bids down there. If you look at a daily chart here of AMC, we talked about that level over and over and over again. This is that's a 20-minute chart. We can look at it, the daily rate here. And as you can see right here, look at that dip right into these levels one more time. So that's 31.16, almost to the dime, 31.35. So, I mean, you're right there. So that was a great dip. I didn't have it, but it was there. BYSI still floating around as well. And thank you to Daryl on the chat there. He had some nice trades and some nice kind words. So thank you so much, Daryl, for all of that as well. But BYSI continues to run.
Yeah, I mean, AMC, I just got filled in a bit. I said if it broke that 32, I'm going to look for that double bottom here at 31. I did miss it the first time through, of course, paying attention to that interview. But I'm going to catch some here at 31.55. But I want to be patient. It's 35 is the actual low, so I want to wait till we actually get 31s to get some more shares into it. Robinhood is making a bit of a move. Only 5 minutes to go, but I want to remind everybody we're coming back at 3. Not at 3:15. We're gonna give you guys that full hour. It's the power hour, right? Like why were we giving you 45 minutes when it's power hour? And everybody knows it's power hour. We're giving you power hour because that's what it should have been in the first place. But we will be back. Robinhood will be in play. They just got back into VWAP here after. Remember we said when the 62.40 1 time, 2 time, the 3rd time was the break. That's when I got out of that long. 1 time and then 2 time fail break. So maybe the 3rd time would be a charm at that level. But it's got to break past that 65. It's maybe got to retest that 65 level one more. We still have a lot of earnings to get to. This is a big week for earnings. Lots of names on this board. Brendan.
Yes, indeed. Let's talk about earnings, guys. Big names coming tonight and tomorrow before the open. I just noticed one on here. Yeti had a big move yesterday, so we'll see what happens, guys, when they actually report. But here we go. Earnings aftermarket, and then tomorrow morning as well.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it ain't no joke. As Rakim
Yeah,
would
I
say.
don't even, this is a little bit, okay, Uber, Moderna, I love me some Fastly. We talked about EA Games with some of that ATVI news, so that was a good quarter for ATVI. So I'm looking at EA Games tomorrow if you're looking for a swing play, guys.
Lemonade, that cool, refreshing drink. You know that stock is it's very volatile, of course. I think you want to be very, very careful if they have a bad print. If you're in this one and you don't have a good price, watch out for that 80 level. But I'm in Lemonade for the long term, guys. I like it. Moderna is the fireworks, obviously, and Uber, like we said, 34 to 38. Like if it prints down in there, I think that's where I want to be picking it up and then hold on to it for 5 to 10 years. But it got to get into that target range, guys. It's been unbelievable. I mean, we were at 9:36 and it felt like, I'm like, oh, are we going to happening now for Brendan at 10? Then we hit 10 o'clock. It felt like the show usually would have been over because the fireworks had been pretty crazy here. Just to go back to, obviously I know what you guys are paying attention to. A quick second, Robinhood's still barcoding. If it breaks out from 66, remember that 70 level was a big one. Oh man, I could eat 100 of these. We're about to find out what national day it is from Miss V, but I am starving. It's been a lot of hard work for us here today, but it's been a heck of a lot of fun, and I can't wait to come back at 3 o'clock. It's going to be a wild one. But get a few of these in your belly. What is the national day, Miss V?
Thank you, Neil. And hey, guys, thank you very much again for joining us and trading with us. For all the super chats, kind words, and support, guys, this means everything to us. And please make sure you like this video, double check that your thumb turned up. We'll be really appreciating that. We'll see you at 3:00 p.m. Eastern Time, and happy National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day, everyone.
Hell yeah.
Keep it simple, baby.
I mean, I really, so normally we go around and we see if everybody likes it. I don't think we need to do it for this one, but I think you know what my, Neil, and Valeria's choice would be. So the only person in question here is going to be Brendan. So let's put on our thinking caps. I think he's going to say something about milk chocolate because that's the way he is. So
he's going to keep it simple. I'm looking at you, Brendan. Everybody loves chocolate chip cookies. End of story.
I can't see Brendan's face. So I'm going to say yes with some sort of a caveat. Brendan?
I'll keep it simple as well. No, absolutely. 100%.
Yes. All right.
Unanimous, guys. Unanimous.
All right, unanimous. Yeah, I thought we'd get a
We should get those, like, you know, the really gigantic ones you can get where
Yes.
it's like, they're like
Yes, you
just
could get them.
bigger than the palm of your hand. That's what we need here because it's hungry work. Look, I mean, like we said, it's been a heck of a lot of fun, all of this trading for you guys. And there's a lot of things that we're moving that I know we didn't quite get to. Like AMC's been on the move, Hood's been on the move. But look at GameStop. Like there was that 158 that we saw at the close when it faded back in. That's back down at 150. Like 150 and a penny is the low on GameStop, and that's trying to turn on a dime here. So under some pressure, both GameStop and AMC on very important levels. 150 even for GameStop. You got that 31 double bottom on AMC. You got Robinhood at 62 doing 77 million shares. So what do we think? Is it going to double that number? Are we getting to 150, 200 on volume on the day? It's unreal how much volume it's doing at this price, Sean.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a no on the volume, but we'll wait to see where it goes from here. I just because it was so huge in the morning, like these volumes, it has died down a little bit, so I don't think we get to 150, but we'll see. Join us back at 3 o'clock, as Valeria said, and we will be 3:00. So I got to figure out what time that is. 3 p.m. is we'll be back. We're giving you a little more fire on the show, right? So hopefully you can come back at 3 o'clock instead of 3:15. So that's the big one. It's such a huge day today for us. Really, really super happy with the way the trading's been. So I hope you guys are as well. It's been a good show. We're still on that BYSI, still $4 in the money. I did put an offer out. Now I just canceled it because I don't know. We'll wait to see if it gets back to 28. That's going to be my target, guys.
Yeah, and D. Wilburn, good look. If you got that hood before the rest of us, I'm glad you got that entire move. Congratulations to you. It's all about getting better every single day. That's what we're about here. We love teaching, as you can obviously see, and sort of going through our thoughts. We'd be talking on the floor when the floor is full anyway, so might as well do it for you guys here for the entire team. By the way, the NASDAQ is 0.1% to the downside. So Ms. V, we're putting it to the test today. Let's get green for Valeria. A fantastic interview as always. Brendan Wickens, I'm Neil Robertson for Sean Katina. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you at 3 o'clock for the close. Bye, guys. Congrats, Andre.